various different reasons. So it doesn't make sense to say one because it's not one, it's a number of different things. But either way, we sincerely apologize. We know your time is important. So for you to have waited for us, we are in such gratitude. We thank you. Oh, so gracious. Thank you, my elders. Thank you. And so, notwithstanding that, we have a beautiful day ahead of us. We have so much to talk about today. We have so much to be timely about today. We have so much to offer. The music you've been listening to is music from the Igbo people, from an artist who was actually in this room some months ago, late last year, called Gerald Eze. He's an Oja player. And the Oja is one of the most powerful sounds I've ever heard. Beautiful music from our Igbo people. Today, we're here for the Igbo Calendar Equinox launch, the Igbo Calendar Equinox launch. And so even as I welcome you, I must also spare a moment to welcome the equinox. The equinox, that beautiful time when the day and night are equal. We don't today honor equality as much as we should. We always want a one up and a one down, or a better than and a lesser than. Today, the sun and the moon are embracing equality. There will be an equal number of light as there is dark. Isn't that wonderful? And funny enough, that makes the day special. It makes the day a time when the veil between the invisible and the visible realm are a little bit thinner. So you have to be careful about what you say today, because it's going to be heard in the divine space. It's going to be heard in divine time. And the universe is going to be responding in divine space and divine time. So make today a day of renewal. Make today a day of recalibrating. See all the things that are not useful to you and speak them away, because you're going to be heard. And see all the things that are useful to you and speak them into being, because you are going to be heard. It is a special day. We are not the first to celebrate the equinox on this land we call Jamaica. Our Taino ancestors did, and perhaps even others before them, because we have always been moving as human beings. We've always been moving through time, through space. But the Taino people established practice around that for nearly 1,000 years before others came to disturb what they were doing. They were honoring the equinoxes and the solstices, the way that Creator has given us to mark the passing of time, to know when to plant, to know when to reap, to know when to come, to know when to go. And so today we honor those ancestors who did it first. That energy is still here, because energy goes nowhere. It is still here. And today we can tap into that and knew that there were those before us. There were those before us who laid that path for us to walk into today. So I welcome the equinox. It's the time of the spring, the time of fertility, the time of rebirth, the time of planting your seeds so they will be nourished by the April rains and come into harvest later on in the year. It's like a child growing up. Today the child comes into being, and then it grows and is nourished along the way by all the energies that become a part of what the equinox begins. Because we go to the solstices, we go again to end the year with an equinox. Many years ago, many years ago, Jamaica used to celebrate its new year on this day, the equinox, March. And it's funny, because part of what was happening there is that the colonial people, perhaps they were wiser in that time. I will never claim wisdom for them, but perhaps they were wiser. They actually used to celebrate the equinox at this time. But seems like knowledge parted company with them. And so they started doing some other things because of some other people who did that because of some other people. And we came to January 1, which means what? We're not sure. We ain't planting nothing in January. We're not entering into that beautiful springtime, that time of growth, that time of many blessings, that time of renewal. It is now. It is in March. You see, if you're farmers, you know. If you're farmers, you're living this. We had the full moon a little while ago, everybody planting them yam and then potato and underground crops. No, isn't that true? We're the farmers. You're going now, yes, thank you, my brother, to do what you know creation allows you to do. Planting the seeds now that are to be planted now because of the phase of the moons, because of the equinoxes and solstices. And so today we welcome the spring equinox. Let us start anew. Take this opportunity to build new for ourselves, to clean ourselves of all the old habits that are not serving us anymore, and to walk very powerfully into this time. I want to welcome a number of people today. We have a full program. We're going to be seeing Ezemo online. And he's a Dibia. He's going to be doing our opening ritual with us. He's going to be followed by Dr. Kurt Henry. Welcome, Dr. Henry, from the ACIJ, JMMB, African-Caribbean Institute of Jamaica, Jamaica Memory Bank. And we're going to have a beautiful young lady doing some poetry for her. Her name is Alexandria. We're going to have the Claudette from Unuchi Foundation talking about the reason why we're here today. So she's going to talk about the reason and the purpose of all of this that we're here. And we're going to keep going until we end the program with Paula Herlock. And if we happen to have some drummers in the house, we'll end with drumming and dancing. I'm Fofie, also known as Carol Miller, and I'm your MC for the day. May I please ask if Ezemo is online? He's not yet. All right then, so I have a chance to talk some more. Who knows something about the equinox? Can you share with me something about the equinox? Something you know? Anything about the equinox? March 20, it's not exactly March 20, it will be the 19th, the 20th, or the 21st. You know something as you're nodding your head, but you don't want to share? Yes, take the mic for me, please, if you would.
Yes, I am Ras Mabrak.
Greetings.
Blessed. I don't know enough, but the little that I know is like, it is, the equinox is like a opening. Right, it's a opening of the time. And I don't know how to explain it, but it's an opening, like, you know, like a door opening.
But in saying that, you have said so much. If you are coming to this building and the door opens, it's an invitation. It's an invitation. So first of all, the equinox is an invitation. It's an invitation to start anew. If you see the door open, what do? You step into the room. Do you know what you're going to find? Not really, but you're hoping to find some certain things. Isn't that your life? Today, when you step out into your life, do you know exactly all the things you're going to find? Maybe not. You pray for some things, you hope for some things, you wish for some things, you wish for some other things not to happen, but you're not sure. So the equinox says, step in and find out. Come and discover. Come and grow. Come and learn. So in knowing that is a door, that is a portal, is perhaps one of the most powerful things you could know about the equinox. Anybody else? You think, is it too early to give out some prizes and some thank yous? Because that response a while ago, I think is kind of so powerful that I want to thank this elder for sharing this knowledge and reaffirming for us the role of elders as knowledge keepers and knowledge sharers. Would you accept this as a thank you for that beautiful sharing? Thank you. And so the equinox, does it occur everywhere in the world, upon the earth? Yes, it actually is supposed to bring us together, not pull us apart. Now it happens at different times. We're talking about equinox now in the Western Hemisphere. In the Northern Hemisphere, it happens in September. In September, around the same kind, 19, 20, 21 kind of idea. So the whole world gets the opportunity to appreciate and walk into the newness that the equinox brings, the freshness, the abundance, the joy. The energy of the equinox is so powerful that everything works a little faster. The energy flows. And why is that? You remember what came before the equinox? It was winter, a time when things are slower. Some people even say a time when it's dark. Some people say a time when it is dark. In the Taino peoples' mythology, the ones who were here before I mentioned them as the first to do the equinox here, they say they have a god they call Yukahu, the god of cassava. All right, because you know that was one of their main staples. And they say in the winter solstice, they bury him. Everything has already been harvested. October, November, everything is harvested. So he don't have to be watching over the crops and protecting them, so he can go to sleep. And he sleeps. They call the earth Atabe. She's a mother. They actually dig up space in Atabe and they bury him. So he can rest through the time when nothing much is growing. December, November, December, January, February. Same thing in Jamaica. Yes? That's not our abundant time when it comes to farming and all of that. But come the equinox. And this is where the idea of resurrection comes from. Resurrection comes from. Come the equinox, he has to be taken out. Because now it's time for planting. Now it's time for people to get together to celebrate the coming of the light. Now it's time for people to remember that they're in community and they're going to get together now. And this one is going to plant that. And you're going to plant this. And you're going to plant that. So that we will have all that we need. It's a time to court abundance. It's a time when things move faster because they had slowed down for the winter. You ever say, you can't walk fast, especially those cold countries, where you have all of this winter gear, you feel like you're carrying a big load. Can't go fast. We're blessed in Jamaica. We don't have it so cold, but some place in Jamaica, you know. Some place in Jamaica, you feel the winter. You feel it. It's happening even more now. Okay? So things actually slow down in the celestial space and in the earth space. Things slow down. Even the rain slows down. December is usually called a little drought because you don't get no whole rain. But come spring, shh, everything gearing up again. Life starts all over again. So it's a time when if you want some things to move fast, you focus on them. You concentrate on them. If you pray about them. Because now, ooh, everything is going rapidly. Because everything is, all the machines are starting up again. Love, joy, all the abundance are starting up again. So that then they can come to a peak later in the year. And then we start going down again to harvest. So the equinox is a beautiful, beautiful time. And many people celebrate it in different ways. Very different ways. But always with the knowledge that it is a space in time and a time in space to look at our lives, to see how we are one with all that is, and to see how we actually help to make meaning of the equinox. The equinox wouldn't have meaning if we didn't say, okay, here's what we think is meant. Let's talk to the Creator. Let's see why Him send us an equinox or her. Let's see why there's an equinox. Let us look and see, because you know a lot of meaning was brought through observation. Let us look. Every year the equinox comes, things die. And then you think there's something dead, you know. And by time March come, wait, where that come from? They think it's dead. Okay, no man. No. Nature is beautiful. Nature is so powerful. And at the times of the equinoxes and the solstices, that's when we really get to appreciate the power of nature. What we thought was dead comes back to life. So if you, in your life you think you're dead, try find this equinox and come back, okay? If you think you're sick, try heal. This is the time for it. So again, okay. Again, we want to welcome this time. We want to welcome this space, and we want to give honor, welcome. We were welcoming the audience. We were welcoming the equinox. Please. Nice to see you. We want to give thanks for all of you who have traveled, perhaps from some distance, to be here today. I'll never get over acknowledging that people make an effort. Make an effort. Sometimes I go to events and somebody say, oh, me come from all the way from Trelawney Town. And I so appreciate, especially when it has to do with our ancestors and the people who are part and parcel of the freedoms we have now. I truly appreciate when we make that effort to come out, to be together, to join together and celebrate. Are we ready now, my brother? I'm sorry? Just about. So it's just about ready. All right. Anybody else know anything else about the equinox? Or tell me something. No, let me not ask that one. Who knows now something about the equinox that they did not know before? Whoa, everybody did bright. Okay. Our sister down. What is it you know now that, can you think of one thing that you know now that you didn't know before? We have a mic right here, so if you can bother yourself to get up. I know you look very comfortable. Like a new life. Yes, yes. Renewing life, yes. Getting up and going again. Like you're reborn. Like a rebirth. Very powerful. Very powerful. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, I know this beautiful little girl. Isn't that Alex? Isn't that Alex? Yes, Alex, come and tell me what you know today that you didn't know when you came here just now. Come. How old are you, Alex?
I am 11.
11-year-old people can't be so beautiful. 11-year-old children cannot be so beautiful. So what's your right age?
11.
Oh, it's true. Can you imagine? It's true. Okay then.
What I have learned is that the equinox basically means that you're reborn as a better person than you were before.
Not only is she absolutely beautiful as a child of God, she's knowledgeable. Because every time we go through a rebirth, it should be for a better. Some people use the idea of a higher self. Every time you go through a rebirth, with all the knowledge and experience you have had in the past time, you should step into a new time with more wisdom, more knowledge, more understanding, more kindness, more love, more devotion, more care for each other, more sense of community, more sense of that which is greater than ourselves, a greater sense of how we fit into the universe and what our responsibilities are to the trees around us, to everything that is a part of where we dwell, in this universal space where we dwell, on this earth where we dwell, in the homes that we dwell, in the hearts where we dwell. That is so powerful. Whoa, you don't think I should give her something? Anybody think, okay, you see? Everybody is agreed. Come, Alex. Thank you so much for that powerful answer. And we're presenting you an IGBOKAL mouse pad. Thank you. Beautiful. He's ready? Okay, absolutely wonderful. In the space of our ancestors, especially those of the African continent, we never start an event without a libation, an invocation, a coming together in divinity. Today, and I apologize most sincerely, one of the things I lost as a child of slaves was my language. And my teacher, my elder, has a name that I will not disrespect by trying to pronounce it respectfully, and I ask him to accept my limitations. I will say we're now going to have the breaking of the kola nut by Ezemur. And this will be in the virtual space.
Sorry, here it's noisy. Good morning or good day, Jamaica. Greetings from here, from Igboland, and also greetings from me. It's been wonderful, working with our people over there, working hand in hand, bring us to the reality of who we are and where we are coming from. And then, having said this, I would like to open the day by honoring those that were here before us, those that have made the path for us, and those that link us together. I'm talking about the ancestors. So I'm going to use a local dialect, the Igbo dialect, because that is what they hear and that is what they understand, to speak to them and also speak to the land where we are individually and also the land where we all come from, the Igboland. So permit me if I use the language. Most of the things you will hear, you may not understand, but you will see what I'm doing. I'm going to start with the white chalk that signifies purity and the cleansing, and that shows pure heart, that we are coming to them the way we are. Because he that must come to equity must come with clean hands. I'm going to blend it with Edo. That is the red chalk, which talks about peace, settlement, and stability. Because that is what we need if we are going to move forward. Then once it's done, I will present to them the kola nut to show them that actually we welcome them and we want them to be part of what we are doing. So these are the three things I'm going to present to them. Like I said, I will start with the white chalk to summon them, because that is what we use in summoning them. It means that the coast is clear and let them come. So I'm going to go into the dialect. Why I'm explaining this is that when I go into the dialect, I don't need to translate. I don't need to, stop and then translate. No, I'm going to go fully to the dialect. I want you to know what I'm doing. From the white chalk to the red chalk, from the red chalk to the kola nut. Ezumezu mmụọ nọ n'ala Igbo. Kpakpoko chikere ụbọchị taa, kpọkụọ ala Igbo mụrụ anyị. Kelekwa ala Jamaica, Chinụba mara nzu. Chinụba mara nzu. Chinụba mara nzu, anyị nwere agbara Sikiba mara nzu. Ikenga Igbo, Sikiba mara nzu. Igbo nwe m Sikiba mara nzu. Nne nwaanyị na mmiri Sikiba mara nzu. Ndị iche anyị, Chinụba mara nzu. Ndị iche anyị ndị ka erere ere ojima ngwa obodo Jamaica, Chinụba mara nzu, anyị echefugo elu. Ndị nụkwara ụlọ ndị n'ala Igbo legide ala Igbo, Chinụba mara nzu, anyị echefugo elu. Ma ekele gị Amado ha nwe m Sikiba mara nzu. Ọkụ agwụ anyị, ma agwụ na agwụ Igbo, ma agwụ ndị Igbo nọ Jamaica, Chinụba mara nzu. Ezumezu niile a ga-anwụ ume ihe, Chinụba mara nzu. Taa awụ mbido afọ. Nwanne anyị a taa awụ mbido afọ nwanne anyị ndị kenu Jamaica. Anyị ekele gị anụ kwanụ chiri gbuo anyị. Chiana for Yaguchana Nimbre, Guna, where Mayana Hobochita. Make a legan. You got Shubachitaga Manaka. Macabena Libo. My grandmother shall for Taga for a line home. For one Nandega like a home. Yonya no time, I can hear what happened. Can you pay me? What up are you broke? We are waffle. You want the cable 5,003. Up are you broke? We are waffle. Not no queen. Bookie Senator. Make Bugashi. Or Maka gave me that for. Make Bugashi. I Jamani Garu, I Jamani Ganjo, Shojitagi, Tagi, or him Jinswaka, a Bugashi. Ando anyị ga-acha nzu maka ashokwu mana nso ejide ruru ashaka mana nso ejide ruru mekwughachi nzu ga-eme ndụ anyị achakee ma ndụ anyị ma ndụ nwanne anyị ndị kenu jama ka ebe na bọọlụ ụmụ Igbo anụ na chọ ga-adịrị gị mma ozu ka m ji ekwugo okwu ejide nzu aka ekwubido awakwu ga nnọchi ndụ ba gee na anyị ntụ olu danụ gee na anyị ntụ olu nna dịkwala anyị azụ afọ I want to know any. Gonna go on. Oh, so come to Pagano. Shouldn't have go on. Go on. I'm no ship. When you're saying I got it. I'm not sure to walk Commander and walk on one way was so. She I took Igbo. Matuahanya and Yimba. Matuahanya legal. Matuahanya and you. Mao and one night and the Keno, a Caribbean. More Jamaica, more Haiti, even a ball to go wash me down to Gadi, more tapa. But Jesus, I could not shoot the baboon. I have managed to say back at home. Also, country, I forgot no ta. Chinese be the for Hona Jamaica. That's my funny get bit. How fair be the gata? Yawa Angus, Yawa Organi. Machine no piano, baboon. Gonna go no. Lola. Mark sugar. I call one of you, my apple. I took tower. I mean, my uncle. Who do you? Okay, but I didn't. Oh, the program should know. Go. Oh, Labaru. I forgot. Then your body. Afo. Don't know. I who do. Don't Afo. I who do. Could go. Shape the ball. Aquanian. Charles Duladia. Even the ball, he shikanya. Charles Duladia. Even the ball, Antonia. Ask me to do you. Ask him can't hold on a life for land. Ask me, ask me, that would all quickly, what's now with I will be down to I will put on time. Ask me, I got Gilanian for no former or for Galim or feed wood or feed them. Ask me, no, okay, then no G. Hey, Wargy. Ask me about that, no G. Chinese and note. As me as you are legal, note. Mupu Montan and Igbo. Minuku Mininta, Makawa Shimiko Munani, Jamaica. As me as you more you want on Jamaica. As me as we want on a height, no nebe Caribbean nation the Balepan or the army. More do Araniji. More check it in a league. You can't give Igbo. I will need an Igbo. Channel the Pan or the Adam. I'll make it like a let's really think about God. A mother have them think about God. I live on nowhere think about God. I like Jamaica. ọkwa na ọdị anụ ndị iche anyị niile n'otu n'otu ndị ọmụrụ nze m ọzọ ndị zọara anyị ala ubi ndị lụara anyị ọgụ ndị emere anyị ji wuru Igbo si melekwa na ọdị anụ ma ekwugo ọkụ ekwuchigo ike chinụta anụ ukwu anyị taa n'ibe chinna asụla aka maka onye akwụkwọ n'onye eli manya bụrụ ma mkpọpụga ndụ n'ụbọchị taata awụ afọ asị m ekwuga m ya wu mbido afọ shafọ ma na anyị mma ebe ọla anyị chega anyị ọwụ ụmụ Igbo asị m anyị ga-nru anyị ayọm anyị ga-anyọrụ agwụ ọjọọ ga-akpọ anyị ụkwụ mmanụ ọjọọ ga-ahụ anyị ụbọchị ọjọọ ga-ezu anyị ihe ọjọọ ga-akpọ anyị aga iji nke akụgbu anyị aga iji gbagbu anyị agakwana iji mma magbu anyị o wee jee anyị ọwụ isi ije ụkwụ anyị jiri bido afọ anyị ga-eji ụkwụ ọma ebido ya ji ga-ete anyị mma mechaa ya o kwepụrụ nwa iyi na-ekelekwa nna ọzọ ụbọchị mana anyị mma jụrụ anyị afọala na-ekwugasị ihe a ga-eme taa ọ ga-aga werere zarala aka nnụ ga-ana ime ya anụ ga-edu anyị anụ ga-eche anyị anyị ga-eme ya nyekwa anyị uche nyekwa anyị amamihe aha anyị mere maka ọ onye dị ma ya bụrụ asịmị ndụ pụọ na anyị ihu ndị iche ruo na anyị nyekwa na anyị nka na amamihe dị egwu iji mee ya agajie anyị agajie ọbadị akwa mme ihe m kwuru elu ọjị ka m kwuru elu mme ụbọchị ihe emega taa ọ ga-ega aga ise I think we are done with the libation. We can go ahead with the program. I'm done.
Thank you. We are grateful, Ezemo, for those beautiful, beautiful words. We know the power of words. We know that words can create. We know that words can destroy. The words of Ezemo, who is a priest in the tradition of his ancestors, are powerful because he has been given the authorities and permissions to use words in certain ways. He has, with his words and with the implements he employed, called our ancestors. With the white clay, he sent messages to them to come and see. He called them, come and see that he's standing there in Igboland, connecting with people in Jamaica who may or may not very well have Igbo ancestry. But even if you don't, we all came from oneness. We all came from oneness. We existed as one. before we were divided up into many. That is one of the reasons I love the Jamaican motto, out of many, one people. It speaks to creation. We thank him for blessing our ancestors. As he called them, he greeted them, and he let them know the purpose for which we're gathering. And that he didn't stop there. With Kola Nut, he gifted them. He made that first step to give them something to acknowledge our togetherness, that they had come, that they're now here, and we thank you. And even as we're giving you this, we're asking you also to acknowledge us and what we're doing, to put success in front of us, behind us, beside us, to see that we're continuing the practices that you have shown us, even when we didn't see them ourselves, because we are diaspora children. But the cord, the umbilical cord, though severed, is never severed spiritually. That is why somebody is not attached to your navel anymore, but they're still your children. They're not attached anymore, but they're still powerfully your children. We thank him for giving. You see, we say in our African spiritual systems, you don't eat and you don't drink. You don't eat and not drink. And so in giving them cola, and they would eat that as a blessing, as a healing, as a nourishment, he also gave them a strong drink. They're strong people. They have to have strong drink. And he blessed them with that too. You've eaten, now drink. You ever go to anybody's yard and they offer you food and offer you drink, even if a little water? That comes from our ancestors. That comes from the people who taught us to be generous, to be kind, to be welcoming. And did you see how both the cola nut and the drink he poured and threw in the 4 directions? That means he has covered the whole earth, because we're all relatives. We are on this earth in a space of oneness, with the visible and the invisible, with our ancestors, with ourselves, with our neighbors. And so we're grateful for these prayers. We're grateful for these prayers because nothing now can change the course of what we're doing for the good of community. Nothing, because our ancestors have been called to come, to see. We've greeted them, we've thanked them for the blessings that they will now bring and thank us with for doing all that we do. We are grateful. In a not virtual space, if SMO was physically present here, at the end of his invocation, calling of the ancestors, breaking of the cola nut, we call it many names, he would have shared the cola nut with us, because what? It emphasizes all are one. We're sharing with our ancestors, we're sharing with all that is, all the 4 directions, and we're sharing. Our spirit is also present. In the absence of him sharing with us, can I take a moment and ask you to take a moment and acknowledge your oneness with the prayers, the invocations, the words that were just said by Esmo for us all. He mentioned the whole Caribbean, not just Jamaica, but he acknowledged the presence of the people from Igboland in all of the Caribbean. Just take a moment to join ourselves with those prayers, with those words, with those invocations, with whatever you perceive that to be. Thank you so very much. We are one. We would like to invite Dr. Kurt Henry, Director, African-Caribbean Institute of Jamaica and the Jamaica Member Bank, to present for us some opening remarks. So now we are properly started because our ancestors are with us. Dr. Henry?
Chairperson, I come for 4th year, is also the founder of Sankofi. Claudette Anderson, Executive Director of Unuche Foundation. Ezamu, who we just saw performing that ritual just now. Paula Herlock, founder of the Wellness Experience Jamaica practitioners. Online viewers, brothers and sisters, good morning. It is an honor to stand before you today as we gather for this momentous occasion, the Igbo Calendar Equinox launch. This event represents a significant step in reclaiming and integrating African heritage into our daily lives. On behalf of the African-Caribbean Institute of Jamaica, Jamaica Memory Bank, I extend our deepest appreciation to the Unuche Foundation for spearheading this initiative, as well as our fellow collaborators, the Odinala Institute, Wellness Experience Jamaica, the Center for Reparation Research, and Love and Healing Work for their shared commitment and vision for such an event. As a division of the Institute of Jamaica, the ACIJ-JMB's mission has always been to document and promote the cultural legacies and existence of African retention in Jamaica and, of course, the diaspora. Today we celebrate a profound example of this work, the unveiling of the Igbo calendar and the Igbo clockwise watch, tools that bridge ancestral wisdom with contemporary innovation. Today's launch is more than just about timekeeping. It is an instrument of reconnection, reminding us that time, as our ancestors understood it, was far more than numbers on a clock. It was a rhythm, a healing force, a way of being in harmony with the universe and the seasons. The saying, and we all know it, time longer than rope, resonates deeply with us today. This proverb reminds us that no matter the obstacles of history, no matter the obstacles history has placed before us, our traditions, knowledge, and spirits endure. This launch is more than just an introduction into a new way of marking time. It is a reaffirmation of the strength and resilience of African systems and its ongoing influence in our daily lives. Let us listen and learn as we explore our Igbo and by extension African ancestors as they viewed time as medicine. I encourage you all to engage, ask questions, participate, and more importantly, carry forward the knowledge we share today. When we honor time in the way of our ancestors, we do not simply remember history, we live it. Brothers and sisters, thank you for being here.
Again, some beautiful words of wisdom by Dr. Kurt Henry, when we honor time. Did you hear? When we honor time. We give thanks for that. We have to see if we're on the same page today in talking about our Igbo ancestors. Who are they? We call them ancestors. What does that mean? We call them the Igbo people. What does that mean? What do we have to do with them? Why are we having an event at the Institute of Jamaica, no less, to talk about them and their concepts of time, their philosophies of time? What is this about? I would like to suggest to you that the Igbo people are a part of the spiritual and physical landscape of Jamaica. There are many people who are carrying them around, walking up and down in their blood. They call it DNA. There are many people in Jamaica who carry that DNA, that ancestry, that lineage. And there are many who connect spiritually with the Igbo people. Their philosophies, their teachings, their mythologies, There are many of us here in Jamaica who know, and there are many who don't know. What we know is that there was a very dark period when African people were traded. The up-to-date word is trafficked, but it wasn't the word that was used then. Then it was the Atlantic trade in enslaved Africans. An act of many voyages to the homeland, the continent of Africa, visiting with many of the peoples there, and invading and disrupting their lifestyles so that they could be removed from their homes and taken to sometimes stolen property to serve others who had greed, who had mercilessness, who had a lack of conscience as their drivers. They wanted profits. They wanted money. They wanted a lifestyle they couldn't afford unless they stood on the back of others. And not only to stand on the back of others, to make sure the others kept down, beating them down every day. You have to stay down, because if you stand up, I might fall, and I cannot afford to lose my monies. I cannot afford to fall. My growth depends on you staying down, bending down, cutting the cane, bending down, being violated in so many ways, so that we can live well from the fat of your land, from the sweat of your brows. The Igbo people were not the earliest to get here. However, we know that there was a really good number of people who came during that 1750, 1807 period. We had smaller groups before, but the bulk of the Igbo people came in that period. Now, 1807, you might remember, is when the British said that the trade, not the end of enslavement, not the end of that institution, but the end of the trade in enslaved Africans should be marked. 1807, they said that that is going to be the end. It didn't prevent people from going out and doing what they do. And so it did continue a while. What happened during that period is that things slowed down a little bit, but it didn't really stop. There was still trade. What happened is that the nature of business also changed, because now they cannot just handcuff you, grab you in chains, but yeah, they had to do a little bit of negotiation. And so they had what they had as that system of bringing what they call indentured laborers, indentured workers. So they were now still strategizing, still being very mean and ugly, and organizing contracts for these people to come work under the same conditions of slavery. But now you would get something, and if you wanted to go back home at some point, they would give you a passage, a way to go home. The conditions were no different. Many of our Igbo ancestors also came as indentured laborers. So they came as enslaved people, they came as indentured laborers. Remember that they didn't accept any of this. I'm using the language of other people. In their spirits, they were never anything but God's children, free people. Never forget that. We never called ourselves enslaved. We never called ourselves enslaved. We were not accepting of the many descriptions. For example, cargo. Remember, we were cargo. We didn't have souls. We didn't have spirit. We're never accepting of any of that, because in the darkest night, we knew who we were, and in the brightest day. The Igbo people in their homeland, now we talk about Igboland, if it's, one big country with a king. No. In times gone by, Igboland was actually just communities, each one autonomous, self-governing. And the highest level of government in the Igbo community was the Council of Elders, a member of some of the oldest families would get together, one from each family, and that was your council of elders. That's what we call self-rule. Self-rule, self-determination, words that we're jumping onto now as if to say they're new. Our ancestors lived to them. Everybody's talking about sovereignty and self-determination. Our ancestors lived that. They didn't forget. The Igbo people were especially sovereign and autonomous and self-determining and self-governing. Their villages didn't have kings and chiefs and all of that. The highest level of authority was a council of elders. How more beautiful could that be? We coming together, the heads of household coming together to determine what is good, what's in the best interest of our community. So it wasn't one big land with a king governing it and on a throne, and no. The Igbo people were dispersed in these various villages, communities, whatever we want to call them, and did what they did. They lived, they loved. They had homes, not just houses. They had plenty homes. We have plenty house at Jamaica, you know. We have plenty house, but we can have homes when child abuse is at the level it is at. I challenge you. When spousal abuse is at the level it is at. When some of the violence is at the level it is at. We don't have homes so much in Jamaica, we have houses. Our ancestors had homes. The Igbo people had homes. And they were disturbed from those homes. The Bight of Biafra is in the southeastern part of Nigeria, and that was a popular place from where many of the Igbo people were taken, and they were taken in quite large numbers. A port called Bonny, a port called Calabar, were some of the primary ports they came through. The people who went to disturb the Igbo people were mostly the British people, especially those from Liverpool and Bristol. That's where most of their vessels would come from. And so they would take them from their homes and bring them, make them homeless, bring them to the Caribbean and other places, wherever. And Jamaica was one of two places, I think, that received the most Igbo people. Now the first place, it could be Virginia, but don't quote me on that one, but quote me on the Jamaica one, where large numbers of Igbo people were received. Now you must understand the thinking of the Igbo people. You see how their government is? A council. They didn't have the idea that one person could rule. For them, that was nonsensical. How does that work? You're not God? How does that work? So one person doesn't rule. Hence, they have their council. And then you take these people with that kind of psyche, that kind of mentality, and you enslave them to a slave master, one man, one slave master. And you force him to work. He has no say. Our Igbo people believed very powerfully in their own spirit, in their own soul, in their own inner guidance, in their own, what I have learned they call chi, in their own chi. So only were they self-governing in the space of community, they were also self-governing in the space of self. The good thing is that they understood the principles and practices of community. And so they lived well together, making the decisions that would serve the greater good. They had educational systems that were so powerful. Not only did you have to learn some certain things, but at a certain early age, you're learning trades that are going to be useful and practical. A very well-developed educational system. Very well developed. Today, even today, the Igbos are the heartbeat of the Nigerian economy. They practically own, anybody hear about Nollywood and the film industry? The Igbos are at the heart of it. Commerce, the markets, the Igbo are at the heart of it. These are the people. When you see some Jamaicans and them ambitious and them not stop, it's very likely them have like a trace of Igbo somewhere there. Because that's how they're driven. That's how they move. That's how they move. So they end in Jamaica, not only Jamaica, because we are a Caribbean. Barbados and Haiti also had large numbers of Igbo people coming into them. where did they settle mostly? Mostly they settled in what we call down so, those western parts of Jamaica, places like St. Elizabeth, but places like Montego Bay, St. Anne were said to have large numbers of Igbo people. And so we find that those areas have that energy, St. Elizabeth, surrounding areas. Remember, though, that like many other groups of people, it's like how we talk about the Congo people who came in St. Thomas, now right there all over the country. They move. Not voluntarily sometimes, but also voluntarily. Sometimes they were moved because they were sold to different plantations all over the place, so they were, you know, it's forced movement, forced relocation, so that they're bought, they're sold. Remember, we used to be bought and sold according to some people. They would put them anywhere the plantation is that they needed to attend. And they would also move after a while voluntarily. It's interesting how that works, because even though they were supposedly free people, they were not slaves, they were indentured laborers, they were still moved in some certain ways that suggested that they didn't have the kind of autonomy that you would expect, which is why we say their conditions were not very different to the conditions of slavery. So our Igbo people are here. They are here without a doubt. They are here. It is very difficult sometimes for me personally to distinguish, separate and apart from other groups who came, the specific contributions of a particular African group, because there's a way so many of them had similar understandings, were wise, and had similar teachings. All of them, for example, would do what you see Ezemo do today. Whether they're Kan, Igbo, Yoruba, whichever group, they would be doing that. So we see this happening in Jamaica now. It's hard to say it's Igbo, it's hard to say it's Akan, it's hard to say it's Yoruba, it's hard to say it's Ewe, it's hard to say it's this, because they all had a certain understanding and acknowledgement of what we call divinity and that which is divine, that which is sacred. We do, however, have knowledge that all of these groups participated and influenced language. We have some sayings around the place, and some of them are attributed to the Igbo people. We call them proverbs. Now, proverbs, what we call proverbs, were part of the everyday life of many of the African groups as well. But it says that the Jamaican proverb, like, let me get one. Sweet mouth fly. Anybody know that one? What? Sweet mouth fly, fala cane bump, go a pound. Oh yes, I've heard it. Come, sister, tell us the jackass one. Same one. There is also the sweet mouth fly. You see what I mean? And this is what I love, you know. Because everywhere you go, you hear the same thing in a different way. Sweet mouth fly. Fala cane bump, go a pound. See, eagle jackass. Sweet mouth fly, no eagle. As long as a sweet mouth up, no idle. You don't need to go find some work for do. You see what I'm saying? The same thing. So we cannot deny the presence of the Igbo people because some of these sayings are traced back to them. Some of these sayings, some of these proverbs. Don't know if I can remember another one for you. There's one that says, cow must know how in bottom part stay. Not that one. I catch you. Not that one. Them say cow must know the use, how in bottom part stay before him go swallow abe seed. Know what is abe seed? Abe seed, I want seed big so. But it's interesting because this one they say is Igbo, but it have an Akan word because abe is an Akan word where mean palm nut. You see, big boat so. So if your external outgoing part not stay too well, you can't take in somewhere next thing you know what I mean. I don't want to say some certain things. All right, I get it. Yes. So, yes, and them said I come from the Igbo people. You must know all some things, or you can manage some things before you go take them on. Okay, make sure you can manage before you take on any task. People come and say, do this, man. Yes, man. Next thing you know, they're in trouble. So be careful. So our Igbo people are present in Jamaica. They're present and accounted for. In this time, what we find is that many of us are revisiting the topic of ancestry, the topic of ancestors, very powerfully because we are on a journey to who we are. We're asked in the question, who am I? And so we want to trace as far as we can go. Since we've been on the earth space, because you know there's a Yoruba saying that if you trace your ancestors far back enough, who are you going to meet? Who are you going to meet if you trace your ancestors far, far back till you can't go no more? Who are you going to meet? Who said what? Yourself? Not quite. Your spirituality? Give me a simple, simple way. Anybody else? Nah. You're going to meet Bobo? Tell me what I'm saying, young man. You find your power? Me want you to say it a different way. Who said that? Come. We've been giving away things today, you know. We've been giving away things. Who else you could have found if you treat your ancestors all the way back? No most the creator. Because that's the only thing that was created in our ancestors, the first of everything. We have one poem named so. You see what I'm saying? So in knowing who we are, we want to know our God self. We want to know our true self. We want to know ourselves spiritually and physically. And we have the mental part too, because it has to rationalize out everything. So the question of ancestors is a question of who are we? In the Jamaican space, we have many. We have many, and that's why I love out of many. And we're forming a Jamaica that is one people. But to make it strong, to make it robust, we need to know the component parts, mustn't we? We need to know what make it up. When you go buy one car, you know, it have car, you know, say it have an engine, it have a this, it have a that, it have a that, it have a that, and that make it a car. We have a Jamaica. So it have that and a little bit of that and that, and this part need that and that part. Yes. Because for all of the parts in the car, you have to have a different maintenance program, not true? Different ways to care for it. Same thing with our ancestors. Because all of them subscribe to the same powerful spiritual principles, but they might express them a different way. Look how him do that. See what I mean? You have your way too. You might not call it that, it might not look like that, but you also have your way of communing with the divine. The divine inside and the divine outside. You have your way. So the Igbo people are very present in Jamaica. And that makes it necessary for us to have the kind of conversation that we're having today about some of the ways they think, some of the ways they explain some certain things, some of the way they opened. Before we get into that big conversation, though, we're going to ask Dr. Claudette Anderson, to come and talk some more about the Igbo people and a particular topic. Before we do that, we're going to have a beautiful young lady who came before, Alexandria Lewis. Now, Alexandria, please come, is a student from the Mona Primary School. She's on the school's challenge team, the school's challenge quiz team. Can you imagine? Look at her. And guess what? She's going to perform today for us some beautiful poetry. So I'm going to hear no encouragement. She's only 11 years old, and she's coming to stand in front of all of you. Oh, no, make sure she's welcome so she's not nervous.
Good morning. As you all heard, my name is Alexandria Lewis, and I'm 11 years old. So the first poetry name is going to be Red Afo Yam. Red Afo Yam, White Afo yam, Mozilla, Madam sit down. St. Vincent come here to help we. White yam, Negro yam, Yampi, without salt for the gods. Well, I forgot some stuff, but at least I tried. At least I tried. Okay. The next one is, I don't really know what to call it, but it's about slavery. And where is the proud spirit? The proud spirit of those who came to us, refusing to bend down or bend under the unbearable weight of slavery, fighting each day to stand tall and proud, to sing their own songs to their own gods. And the last poem is called I Stand Here Today. I stand here today because someone stood here yesterday. I stand here today clothed in my humanness because someone stood here yesterday as cargo. I stand here today engaged in conversations of human rights because someone stood here yesterday stripped of the right to be human. I stand here today smelling of your sweet white perfume because someone stood here yesterday rubbed down with cassia oil. I stand here today dressed in made-in-China clothes because someone stood here yesterday wearing little or nothing between the skin and the whip. I stand here today speaking your language because someone stood here yesterday losing mine. I stand here today respected because someone stood here yesterday disrespected. I stand here today liberated because someone stood here yesterday fighting. I stand here today because someone stood here yesterday losing mind, spirit, and body. I stand here today with freedoms because someone stood here yesterday transcending yesterday. Thank you.
Does anybody have any words that you could lend me to say? Does anybody have some words that you can share with me, to share with her? I want you all to get up and go shake her hand. She's only 11. She's only 11. But look at how she put her emotions as if she understood, as if she was there. So you have to go down because your head should never be above the head of your elders. You did well, you're brilliant, but you still have to show respect to your elders. We have to teach the children the words to say that make meaning and have meaning to them and to us in terms of how we shape and form our future, how we step into this equinox, this space of renewal, We have to know where we're coming from, and I'm not being original here, to know where we're going. It may not be original, but it is still relevant. It is still true. And I'm so honored to have Alexandria read these poems, recite these poems with such meaning, with such meaning, with such meaning. I am using a protocol from one of our ancestral spaces. In one of our ancestral communities, when somebody does well, you go and you say, you have done well. That is what we're doing now with Alexandria. We're encouraging her. Because tomorrow when somebody gives her something else to read that is not so good, she'll go say, but who will come shake my hand? So all them people that shake my hand, but they would think if me said this. You see how that works? You see how that works? You are fortifying her spirit. You're telling her, yes, that is the kind of thing she should be engaging in. Those are the words, the kinds of words that should be coming from her mouth. Because if she says some other words, you're not going to say this. You're not going to do that. When she says words that are not helpful, that do not teach us, you're not going to congratulate her. You're not going to say you have done well. And that's not going to feel good because she's a part of community. It's not going to feel good to her, you or to her. So we teach them the words. We teach them. We give thanks, Alexandria Lewis from Mona Primary School. And one of her achievements is that she's on the school challenge quiz. Among many, I hear she's also exceptional at her work in school, and certainly an exceptional reader. It's not just about the reading, it's just how she emoted, the energy, how she understood it. She read it like as she write it. You know what I mean? The emotion. And so congratulations and thank you. Much gratitude, much love. It is for me now, as I said, to call Dr. Claudette Anderson. And she's going to introduce Ogu Afo Africana, the IGBOKAL printed digital app. She has a big job. Dr. Anderson.
Ibobolele mi masawantam. Ibobolele ancestors wantam. Dewo, greetings. That's the Igbo word for greetings. You know, we walk up and down and I say greetings all the time. Yeah, the Igbo word for it is Ndewo. Ndewo. Welcome to everyone who is present here. Welcome to those who are viewing us online. Welcome to our chairperson, and thank you. Clap her, man. She not do a good job, but then not learn enough. Clap her, man. Clap her. Clap yourself. Clap yourself. Yes, I started with that song because that's one of the Igbo retentions that we say every day and we don't know. Lele, when you say yeah, lele, yeah, that's an Igbo word. It means come, see. What are lele for, right? Come see what's happening out there. And so there's this folk song which is sung in other parts of the Caribbean. I don't think it is ours specifically in terms of island. But they were telling the Igbo enslaved ancestor to come. Igbo lele, come, your massa want you. And so I changed the lyric to Ibobo lele, ancestors want you. Ancestors want you. We've been speaking a lot about ancestors today. We honor them by being here. We honor them by being here. You represent the memory, your memory keepers. There are many people on the island who claim not to be black, who don't want nothing to do with Africa. The fact that you're here means that you remember how our ancestors got here and what our past was like. You remember what we have lost. Now, this Queen Mother said, you don't even know where you know. And you don't know where you don't know. So much has been taken away from us during the time since the evil others came. And today we want to reclaim our time. We want to reclaim the rhythm, the sweet rhythm that we had before our ancestors were kidnapped and separated from their language, their lineage, and their culture. And we, these many years after, we're struggling to recover. The signposts have been moved. If we're trying to find a way, we get lost because we don't even know what we need to look for. And so I stand here today as a child of my ancestors who has not forgotten the journey that it took for me to be here. I stand here today because someone stood here yesterday transcending. We give thanks. Dalu or Imela is the Igbo word for thanks. So having welcomed you and greeted you, I'm going to say that I have a thing prepared, but could we please put our phones on silent? Thank you. In regard, just out of respect and you know, to our ancestors, let us be present. Now, this device I will come to in a moment. But for now, I'm saying I'm opening my mouth and I'm going to let the ancestors speak through me. I am the executive director, some sort of thing, you know, of Unuchi Foundation. Our mission is to make available and accessible to those who want to know various aspects of our African traditions that we have lost. In particular, our knowledge systems that have been demonized and criminalized. If I say to you that this calendar is the architecture of knowledge, it would sound so strange. And yet, this is what it is, and this is what our African ancestors used to order their lives and keep themselves in balance. So I'm going to open my mouth and let us see what comes out. So on the screen here, we have the cover of a calendar that you will be able to access on the foundation's website. If you notice, it is divided in half. If you're facing out like I am, white on the left, color on the black. That is indicative of balance. So in Igbo culture, we start the year in balance, in harmony. As our chairperson said, the sun and the moon are given equal time. And so this is to remind us that we are Madu, things of beauty. We come into this world in balance because we come with a mother, which is our left side, and we come with a father, which is our right side. Is there anybody in here who don't have a mother or father? We know that's a joke. It's a simple thing, you know. You have to remember that you come in balanced. Even though we know, right, that a lot has happened, we're not the best mothers and fathers. Much has been taken from us. We were separated from paradise, where there was no homelessness, there were no beggars. and we were brought into a situation of lack. They created a situation of lack so that even today, most of our lives are just about existing. We no longer have the privilege of what should be normal for us, which is balance. There are many things there, but I want to say to you, as we integrate heritage into our daily life, this is a part of our heritage that has been lost. We're recovering it. We're integrating our ancient time technologies into our daily life. This is what we want to do to restore balance and harmony into our lives. So we start today. This is the first day of the year, the first month. And come on, man. You know what? Everybody declare themselves balanced. On a balance, you say, we're balanced. Claim it. Claim it. We're balanced. We're recovering balance. You say? Yes. Always two. Right? And then now, I want to introduce you to the doubling of that, which is 4. How many limbs you have? How many parts of the brain? Our architecture, our human architecture, is 4. So even as we start here, we know we multiply, and we double up, and we keep going. The first doubling represents all that we know of as 4 in the universe, in our bodies. You have 4 seasons, you have 4 phases of the moon, 4 limbs, 4-chambered heart. My brother, there you go. Cardinal directions. You cannot exist outside of 4. In it, we live and breathe and have our being. 4, cannot escape it, can't function properly. 4. Now you saw Ezemo break that kola nut. We have busy here in Jamaica. It's the same thing. Kola nut is busy. And in Igbo culture, we say, whoever brings busy brings life. You see? And why is that? Because only the 4-lobed busy or kola nut is used in greeting. Only, so when you enter the house of an Igbo person, you will be offered kola. It means you're protected. Nobody can touch you because it's representing the 4 corners. You will not be harmed as long as you're in this house. And that's usually given by the male. The female may give you salt. Yeah, the salt of the earth. Ground you. This was everyday life. This was basic. Now we don't even tell each other good morning. You understand? He may even tell me hearty thank you or hearty good morning. We have been stripped of so much. But I want to make the point also that even in divination, if you go to a healer, which is called a dibia or an obia, if the person is traveling, you don't need to pay for anything. You give them kola, 4-lobed kola, and they will do divination for you with that kola nut. Now, can't do divination with 2. As I said, that's just a stupid kola nut. It's a serious thing. It's a dumb kola nut. It has to be 4 lobes because that represents the entire universe of knowledge. So if you're divining with 3-lobe kola nut, then somebody leave out all of the energies either in the east, west, north, or south. Somebody not being called, so you don't have the full thing. So you said that's a stupid kola nut. You do not divine with it. So our foundation is 4. Yes? Somebody say, Ise. Our foundation is what? Yes. All right. So we're integrating heritage. And I want people to understand, this is just one of the many calendars that was used in West Central Africa from which our direct ancestors came. So we're saying we're Igbo-centered, but Pan-African. If you want us to do a calendar, bring it. We'll do it. Anything that our ancestors give us that will help us to recover. There's similarity in this calendar with the Beninese people, word, and also with the Yoruba. They use 4 days. And so we're saying, for people out there who say everything Igbo, 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 no. We have to start somewhere. Hello? We have to start somewhere, don't? Yes. So we're Igbo-centered but Pan-African. You can use this calendar to reconnect. It's a beginning. If you're already using a calendar from West Central Africa, work with it. Go with it. I just want to remind people who tend to go to Ethiopia or to Egypt that those were not our direct ancestors. Right? We understand why you go there. Rastafari. Look at how many Rastas in there. What do you understand that Rastafari is the only religion, the only formed since all the others came? Clap on yourself, man. Lord, we take it simply, you know. But this energy, we were looking for somewhere, but they separated us so much we couldn't find ourselves, so we have to run go to Ethiopia. We have to run go to Egypt. But guess what? Time longer than rope. So now we have an opportunity to actually connect to our direct ancestors. It's a serious thing. It's an important thing. My foundation, our foundation, is called Unuchi, because we have, again, this word Unu, I understand as Igbo, but that it is also Ghanaian. Unu, Akan. Chi, at the basic level, can mean God or your own. You know when you say, my spirit not take, or you chi that. Your chi tell you, say, something not right. And say, my spirit take her, you say, me love her. That's your chi. Your personal guardian angel, your personal God. There's something that is, right? Indicating to you that something is very good or very bad. So the ancestors say, you must name this thing that you're doing Unuchi, because we're giving our people back to themselves. Yes? We're recovering our ancestral heritage and we're integrating it into our daily life. Now, if I ask somebody to define time, how would you define time? What is time? Anybody? What is time? Time is a constant, yes. Time is a circle. Why is not a line? Mm-hmm. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Mr. Jeff, we can have the schema, please. So, time is constant and time is a circle. You ever think about time as medicine? Why is time medicine? Sorry? It has to? It helps you to prepare. Yes? Yes. So time heals, right? So the bad thoughts, our 11-year-old genius is saying, as time goes, you tend to forget the bad things and your mind becomes renewed, right? And you become healthier. I saw a hand up there. A time, a bridge in space. Mr. Jeff, a bridge within space. The second slide for me, please. Time is a bridge within space. But guess what? Why we say time longer than rope? Do you know why we say time longer than rope? Pardon? It's endless, right? While a rope ends. Yes. It's endless while a rope ends. So the Igbos have this mythology, that's what they call it, the story of how we came to use this calendar here. So this is the basic calendar that you all have. I hope, did everybody pick up a calendar? Yes, so you can look at it. This is what is represented there. And it's just the schema. I want to help you understand it. So it's not rocket science, really, right? You have a day, and this is how we name the day differently. So the basic thing is that this is a 13-month, 28-day calendar. We have recovered the last month. 12 tribes and one missing. We recovered the 13th tribe, right? So we have a 13-month, 28-day calendar. The week consists of 4 days, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 going across. Everybody seeing that? That represents what we call the 4 market days, right? So you carry your Akigo Linstead market and not a Kwati word sell, right? The Igbos will say, how market? When you've made a decision and they want to know the outcome, they say, how market? This is the basis of Igbo cosmology and philosophy. We are here on market day. So you come in on one of these days that represents the 4 forces, the 4 elements. Afo is the earth element. So we start at Afo. This is why the week starts at Afo, right? Everybody with me? Yes. Element of earth. This is our mother. Then we go to Unko, which is the element of air. So you come in either on an earth day. If you come in on Afo, if you come in on Unko, it's air. Eke is given to fire. It's a fire day. And Orie is given to water. It's very simple, right? Every day, our ancestors knew what the universe was made of. And their daily life paid homage to that circle, those forces within which they lived. My brother? Only one animal in the world? What? Which one? No, sir. Why donkey? I've never heard that. We'll investigate that. Our brother is saying that this calendar is represented of the donkey. Yeah, we're going to check that out. Never heard that one day. Thank you. Yeah, knowledge. Right. Oh, it takes 13 months to give birth. So the donkey, we shouldn't call it an ass then. It's not stupid. It's really bright. A bright donkey. We need to, this is something. We'll investigate it seriously to see what connections there are. Yes. No, that lost before me come from youth. Yes. The brother is saying he's 75 years old and from my youth. This is what he has heard. You see, we need the elders, just as our chairperson was saying. Thank you. So, we have a 4-day week, which therefore we have 7 weeks. 4, 7, 28? We have 7 weeks. So let me ask you something now. Time as a game. You ever think about time as a game? Game, where you play. So when you play domino, how much people have played? And how much domino you have? Aye, aye, aye. And how you play domino? Counterclockwise or clockwise? Jaja. You remember? I said this was the architecture of knowledge. Think about all the games that are played in the world. You have or 2. And if you're playing by yourself, them call it solitaire. But it takes 2 to make things go right, not so? Yes. And you hardly have a game where 3 people playing. Not true? How many people on a football team? How about that now? All right. And one net down there, and what you're doing, you put, that is what we call a complementary binary. We don't talk in terms of opposites in Igbo culture. We talk about how we complement each other. Jaja. So east complement west, north complement south. It's a market, it's an exchange. So the Igbos say we're here on market day, and what are we doing here on earth? We're seeking our best self. We're seeking the name that most describes us as Madu, as beautiful. It's a serious thing, you know. How market? You tell me, say, that is your wife. I say, how market? How that working out for you? How the exchange? Our life is an exchange. You're here giving me your energy, giving me your ears. If I was talking to an empty room, it couldn't work. If you come and sit down there and nobody up here to talk, no, we're exchanging. Think that everything you do in life is an exchange of energy. It's a new concept. We're reorienting you. Everything you do in life, when you go for the interview for the job, you're exchanging energy with your interviewer. When you have a child that comes through you, you gave it, if you're a woman, birth but not life, because life comes from elsewhere. You're exchanging energy with that child. That child is coming through. If you're a man, exchanging the energy. How we get here is an exchange of energy between the male and the female. We're coming back to it. Market day. These are called market days because they represent the 4 forces of the universe that trade in the most harmonious and optimal way. And this is how you want to live your life. Now, the structure of the calendar, we were seeking just a little bit to give you the idea of a capsule. Medicine, right? Capsule is medicine. But also, some people look at this image and they say they see different things. Somebody said, you know, it looked like a cathedral. They said, you know, it looked like a windows. All of those things. Your church is your daily life. Our ancestor didn't know anything about 6 days. You sin, and then on the 7th day, one day Christian. No. Every day is sacred. Every day is holy. Full stop. No comma, no dash dash. Yes, my brother. Sorry? We're not dealing with that. We have a perfect system. This is perfection. 28 days, 13 months, complete the cycle of knowledge. I want you to understand that I am time as knowledge. What are you here doing? If you don't know something, how detrimental is it? We don't think of those in those terms. If you're supposed to know something and you don't know, how detrimental is it to you? Your life is destroyed, right? So I want you to really, really understand your daily life is holy. Every day is holy. Every day is holy. And within each day, how many parts of the day? You can't escape the 4. How many parts? 4 basic parts of the day. When we double the 2 at night and day, right? We start with the sun in the east, then it goes south, then it goes down in the west, and then we don't see the sun. 4 basic parts of the day. So listen now. The Igbos don't pray. Them don't know nothing about praying. This is an invention of begging, because you have been brought into a situation of lack where you always need something. So you pray. Imagine a time when our ancestors, everybody have a house? Sorry, everybody have a home. There's a difference. You have a community. You're not struggling for food because you're paying to all the elements. You don't need anything. You know what you do when you have that? Jaja, somebody tell me, when you have everything what you need, what you do in the morning when you get up? Yes, you give thanks. What else? You carry out, Bismillah. You give thanks, you carry out your duty, and your primary duty is to recognize the space in which you live. So one of the prayers that the Igbos used to do, we don't do it anymore so much, because remember, after they came and snatched us, they went back to occupy the land and to destroy our ancestral ways. But we would get up in the morning and we would say, Chiukwa Biyama, the great spirit of wisdom and knowledge, Tuanzu, be clean. I'm going to say, and then I'm going to translate. Chiukwa Biyama, Tuanzu, Aniawu Boshi, Tuanzu. Say Tuanzu with me. Let me start again. Tuanzu. Pronounce it. Tuanzu. Tuanzu. You say it means be clean. Yes. Chiukwa Biyama, Tuanzu. When I do this, like Miss Lou, you said Tuanzu. Yes. A great ancestor. Miss Lou, big up yourself up there. Yes. Chiku Abiyama, Aniyawu Ubochi, Eke, Orie, Afo, Nkwo, Afianano Ubochinano, Tuanzu, Tuanzu, Tuanzu. Now, isn't that beautiful? All you have to do is get up and you clear your way. Remember, Eke is fire in the east. You're saying, east be clean. Yeah, Eke, fire in the east. Orie, water in the north. Yes? Afo, we come down to south, earth. And then west, air. You done gone clear already. You don't need to say nothing else. You don't need to do no grace for your food. You know, everything. You've cleaned and cleared the way for your day to go correct. You're just amplifying that. You don't need, you're not begging, Lord Jesus, make the man not. This was the state from which we were snatched, our ancestors were snatched. So that now, instead of affirming and saluting the 4 corners, and there's a prayer also for 7 that the Tainos used. Our sister mentioned the Tainos. All of these things I'm talking about, they were done by the Tainos here. The only difference I should note is that while the Tainos had a 28-day, 13-month calendar, they organized it horizontally, whereas the Igbos organized it vertically. But they used this, the ancestors of this land used the same system of knowledge that our West Central African ancestors used. This is why we're able today to recover that and to bring that forth with their help. Yes, sir. Say something. The clearance, yes. So Tuanzu means clean. Oh, you will go at the bottom of your calendars, you will see yes. You will see two websites. If you go to unuchi.org, this prayer is there and also the pronunciation. Okay? Yes. So you can, right, when you get it. So we clear the four, and we affirm, we're saying be clean. We're not begging it, could you, Mr. East, Mrs. East, could you please be clean? We are declaring that it is clean. We're telling it that it's clean. Right? Brethren. Yes. So they also told us that we were illiterate. Remember that? Oh, and we had to, no, we never illiterate. We had our own system of writing. Our own system of writing and being forced to accept their way of representing the earth, the words that they use to represent the earth and life. And a language is a system of knowledge, and a language contains worldview. So when I say to you what has been done to us is inestimable, you'll understand as my brother, Love, came in and said, look at the room. It's because of the epistemic side, the killing of knowledge, that we don't even want to remember. We access that part of our ancestry that would negate the African part of our ancestry. We're not denying what happened to us. And most of us choose the other side. So I want to clap on yourself again because you're here today. So, I can't speak to that. My understanding is that Bobo Shanti means, it is a reference to here. In Igbo culture, that's called Da. When you hear falls, that's a dibio or a healer or a holy man. But as far as I know, Bobo Shanti is a reference to long hair. This, if you know, anybody here knows differently. Anybody here? Then, oh yeah. So talk to me. Is that true? Is that a reference to the hair? Oh, so that's a Kan. So that's different from Igbo. Okay, I see. So, Igbo is an ethnic group like the Akan. Yeah, a tribe, yeah. The only connection would be that they were all brought here in chains and had to live together. And so what we have is really, right, out of many one people. Jamaica is one of the places where if you try to separate the thing, it's very hard. And it says something about the hardships that we endured, or we and other English-speaking, quote-unquote, English-speaking Caribbean islands. This has been said, that the British were the worst enslavers. And so, for those of us who are in the English-speaking Caribbean, it's very hard to pull apart the different traditions that came because of how we had to manage. So, for example, the word obia. We could say that it's an Igbo word, and we have the meanings and we know what it's, and we know that a lot of Igbos came, and we know that, we also know that there are other ethnic groups that came in with similar words, but somehow our ancestors decided that this was the word they were going to use. In Guyana, they chose an Akan word, comfort, right? So it depends on the particular environment and what the tradition becomes called. We may say ethnic dominance. We don't know what exactly would, we can't pinpoint it. All we can say is that our ancestors were forced together in this situation of daily terror, and that they found ways. And for example, in Jamaica, this was the word, this was the call, this was the healing, this was everything. The other African ethnic groups accepted it, even though we know that within their own specific cultures, they still maintain those words. But it seems to have been an organic development. And so that word be, bo, anytime you hear be or bo, is somehow a reference to knowledge and wisdom in all of the West Central African traditions, and also throughout other parts of Africa. So we call it a be cognate, be to be, right? And that is a reference to knowledge and to life. Yes? So that's what they're giving me to give you now. Yeah, that all right with you? Yes. You're always becoming. Yes. Love. All right. Thank you. So I want to refer to what we are seeing there as the sacral chakra, which is the sex chakra. Here's my graphic artist chose to put the Nsibidi ideographs there. I don't know if it's by design or ancestors' hands. But Nsibidi is our original language, West Central Africa, for the Igbos. And so we've made sure in this calendar to use as much African symbology as we can. And so this left column represents the 7 chakras. The right, extreme right chakra represents the notes, which you will note is 4 and not 7. We have 2 riro being repeated as we go up, separated by the word Now, this is how our ancestors greeted each other in times past. You see a woman, you say, Oma. Oma. It means beauty also. It means good. You see how our ancestors venerated women, loved women? You greet each other with the sound woman. And for the men, they would say, That is an esoteric truth that we will touch on later. But I'm making a point about the importance not only of 4, but also of 7. All right? So we have that. So we have represented 2 systems of writing. At the top to the right, you will see the Uli motifs. This is like the Akan, is it Dinkra? Is that how it's pronounced? Adinkra, right? All of these West Central African systems had these symbols. And the Uli symbol, again, coming back to women, are symbols that are painted and belong to the tradition of women. It's like women's art. And so in the calendar, we have some of those represented. What else do we have? Our elder here said that the equinox is an opening, right? I see your hand. The equinox is an opening. We call that a portal, right? And so what we've done is to indicate the simplest portal that you can have, which is the doubling. So for moon 13, the 13th day would be a portal day. And it is always, as you know, this is just simple perfection. It is always going to fall on an Earth day. So if you're using the calendar portal days would be powerful days with which to engage. So if it's a 13, it's going to fall on Afo. If it's 1, as you will see in the next, it's going to fall on Afo. If it's a 2-2, it's going to be Nko. 3-3, etc. And so these are some of the basic ways in which you can use the calendar. It's not rocket science. What we have done is we say that the calendar is an Africana calendar, meaning that we have adapted it to our particular environment. So as Okomfo Fofi explained, the Igbo culture, African cultures before the others came, were basically villages, living in harmony. So in Igbo culture, when you got to 11 families, say, you had to leave and start another community. And so if you started a community by a river, the circumstances would be different. And so you would adapt the Igbo calendar to that particular environment. So what we've done is to adapt to the Western environment in collaboration with the Taino calendar, so that some of what you see here, in the calendar is both continental and diasporian. I'll come back to that. My sister?
Okay, you had said not too long ago about an African adaptation of the calendar. All right, but that which operates now in our time is a 4-week, 7-day calendar. Xing out the days that they have added on to balance their thing. So, is this calendar something that operated in their time and space, which has been adapted, as you said, African, or is it the other way around?
Have the Europeans adopted this calendar?
So, this which we operate now,
Yes.
or is it the other way around?
No, it can't be the other way around, because we first.
I'm just trying, because you had said about an African adaptation, so I know African is supposed to be the others, not so much our people.
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, I think you misinterpreted me. So, right. So for clarification, these calendars, this is when you see the ad that we did, this is a representation of primal time, which is first. When we first became humans, this is what we use. This is why it's so rhythmic and so perfect and so harmonious, because it is representative of what actually is. Other calendars have been formed out of it, because it's the same 364, 65 days, you can, right? So people can use it any way they want. For example, as I said, the Mayans did it horizontally, right? But it's all traditional societies will have a 13-month, 28-day calendar, because it's primal time. So it's first. Yes, my brother. Okay, all right. Yeah. All right, so look on the calendar where you have there. Second month. Yeah, okay. Second month. Look at the second month. What you see? Yeah, you see. Yes. What you see there? The number 2. It's different from the other numbers, right? In terms of how it is. You see it? Your sister beside you see it. Show it to him. And so the 3 is going to be different, right? And that's indicative of a portal. Yeah. So I'm being told to hurry up for time. So let me see if there's anything else. I want to make a point about the mouse pads and the architecture of knowledge. So this is the original computer. We will be doing classes at unuchi.org, and we'll have an offering for you to sign up. But this is the original Google, right? Our healers were very scientific, right? And so we know that everything that there's to be known is in the circle that has 4 quarters. And so when you talk about the matrix, imagine putting all of this together. You will see the numbers, right? Matrix, original matrix, or original architecture of existence and knowledge. I just want to make that point. As I'm saying to you, please go to unuchi.org. We are available for your questions. You can type in your questions. We have a spot there for you to type in. And we will be having classes in collaboration with the Odinala Institute, from which SMO comes. He's coming up next, and he will tell you about the watch. So what we have at Unuchi is we have an app for you. You can go to unuchi.org or to igbokal.org, that's on your calendars, and you can download an app on your phone. We all have phones, and it will tell you what date is. Isn't that beautiful? And it's free. We have a free version. You download it now, and then we will upgrade, and we'll probably charge you for that, right? But you can have in your hand integrating heritage, and that way we want you to begin to use this calendar to change the spirit of Jamaica and the Caribbean and the world. Begin to just, imagine, we have forgotten these words. You get up and you say, Eke. You get up and you say, Ore. Ancestors listening, you know, they don't wait for we for call them. They're waiting for us to say these words to recover ourselves. So we have the physical calendar that you have. We have a calendar that's going to be more detailed in terms of giving you context and framework. We have an app that you can download free of charge. You go to Unuchi or to igbokal.com, and SMO's Odinala Institute has produced a watch. If you are so inclined and have $230 US, you can access this watch and have it. It's counterclockwise. Greg, Jeff, could you just bring up the watch ad? Or not, yes, the one with just the watch. All right, so the key features. By the way, I need to pause and say that this architecture that we've made sure to utilize Igbo people to do it. Everything that you see, we're using our own people to recover the ancestral heritage. I want to pay homage and recognition to Dumele. They have managed to produce the app. I have been remiss in not saying that we have an app that was produced by someone in Nigeria and also in collaboration with an Igbo person. So we have Dumele, we have Odinala Institute, and we have Unuchi Foundation working together to bring you this. The world's first Igbo watch. Ezemo is coming next. He's going to tell you about it. Igbo clockwise, right hand wear, solar tracking, downward orientation, pyramidal circumference, circadian grounded. You can access this watch if you want at Odinala Institute or through Unuchi Foundation. We're giving you a mouse pad because the Igbo myth of time says that it was the rat that discovered the 4 market days. So consider yourself, when you're clicking on the mouse, that you're recovering your heritage. This is one of the symbolisms that we have. We want you to conceive of time as 4 long baskets, as a weave, as medicine, as a rope, as a church, as your sanctuary. Time is everything, really. In it we live and breathe and have our being. So we want you to reorient yourselves to thinking of time as grounded in the 4 forces of the universe. And that is what our ancestors knew and lived. You have a question? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. How much time I have, chairperson? I still have 5? Can we put up month 1 on Wa Mbu? Moon 1. Yeah. Sorry, I jumped, she said time, and then I jumped over. First month 1. On Wa Mbu. Yeah, there you go. So this is what you have in your hand. This is what today looks like. That spring represents, that symbol is the Nsibidi symbol for white yam. So hence we had our young lady talking about yam. Afo yam, earth. That's the basic connection that we can remember. We're talking about Igbo retentions. Afo yam, right? Afo is earth. And that's the symbol for the white yam. We have number 1, which is in the, I think the graphic artists call it stroke form. You're going to find that for each month where the portal day is, the number is going to look like it looks at number 1. Okay? Everybody understand that? Solid. Yes, it's not solid. It's right. That's your portal day. All right?
Therefore, this Sunday, we will go back to Afo.
Jaja. And so, also, you have a birthday every 5 days and not once a year. Because if you come in on Afo Day, every Afo Day, you can celebrate yourself and renew yourself and it's a beautiful system. It really is. Is SMO ready? Okay. So I'm going to take my leave of you. I thank you for your ears. I encourage you to visit the websites. There's a place for you to ask any question you want. We have a phone number on the website. Call if you have a question. We're here to help. We're here to help you integrate heritage into your daily life. Jishikeo, which means basically the 4 forces be with you. We did have it tonight, not from Star Wars. Jishikeo, may the forces be with you, and Dalu, thank you, in the Igbo language.
So we'll move right into SMO if he's available, if he's ready. No, not ready yet? All right then, so we have an excellent opportunity. Now, everybody like to ask, any questions? Here I'm going to ask you, any comments? Yes, my brother. Listen, we have a mic here saying about me run, come down there still. On the mark. Yes, my brother. Comments. Useful. Not you. Any comment? Oh, it's not you. Raise your hand. I think you, my friend.
Well, not really a comment. It's just a point of view. I said, for the 12-month calendar for me, is 1 month of tax the robbers. That's the only difference. That's what they did. 1 month of tax the robbers.
1 month of tax the rob you with a 12-month calendar.
Take off what they want to take off. You get back 28 same way.
So you say with something today a long time? Okay, all right. The math can't change. It's universal.
I'm not in February, you know. Yeah, because I'm not too powerful for them.
See what you mean. So it still have 28 days and sometimes 29. So February whole faith, man. February stubborn. February keep faithful.
Be a star born Panama, you know, study. Especially Bob Marley, the greatest one.
Okay. Any other comments? Yes, sister, I see your hand. Is that sister or brother? Yes, brother, I see your hand.
Yes. Can you brief me within this? I'm looking at the calendar and I see 2. What is Mabu? I see 2. Agwaba.
Onwa Agbara.
Yes.
Okay. So it could well be, so next time you're going to come early?
Well,
Can we not explain to you if they're not going to do better, you know?
myself to be early, but it's sometime in no time.
Yes, we're late this month. Well, we're never late, but we're later than we wanted because traffic catch way. So it actually starts with the last month of the year, the 13th month. This is actually the first month of the year. So we give you a little extra. We get a little broader. So this go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it is what I'm saying? So it actually end here, so because of the 13 there. But we give you some extra in front and behind. Yes, the months. So we have 13 months. Yeah, but this actually have 15 months, right? The calendar, but not the real calendar in terms of the time is 13 months. Because we add that for help to see how them fit together at the end and at the beginning. Right. So the end of the 13th month, we go back to 1. We are showing the same thing. At the end of the 13th month, we go back to 1. Yeah. So if you want to know, so this, yes, this 30, no, hold on a sec. Yeah. But tell me what the, my glasses can't see with the oh, we have the similar thing. Can't see too good with the glasses. So you have to go home and get a, what you call the little thing? A magnifying glass, yes. Oh, that me need. Okay, right. So this is the last month, the 13th, because it's 13 months the calendar have, and then you start with the first. Right, exactly. You got it, man. You got it. Any other comments? And now I can also take questions. Any other comments? You are looking very interested, my brother. You have nothing to say? You think it's a waste of time? You think it makes sense? All right, then. You think we should keep doing this and teaching about the ancestral things, so the people them to make sense of the thing?
A great knowledge of transcend, and just who willing to accept, you know? Yes,
very true. Who willing to accept the truth? Okay. Because not everybody willing to accept the truth. Some people willing to accept other things than the truth.
And a long time for them come from long time in the 12, you know. And then about the 13.
Yeah. So the 12 did make sense to you? No, sir. Okay, for a long time. All right then.
When they tell me say the donkey visit the 13, and I say, oh, something wrong, man. And the donkey, the only person, Zine, who carried that 12 months, never get him covered, see it. So I say, oh, I should be the year, the 20th same year, the donkey. And from the days I find out.
So you figure it out from the donkey?
Yeah,
because the donkey take 12 months. 13 months. Yeah, for have him cover.
So the notice of the year represent come off a work off a MCM here too.
Ah, so the donkey get it right. For have for him cover.
Yeah, 1 year.
So them think they might hide the information, but it is very plain.
Father, make sure put somebody to present it too.
So everybody have what them can tap into to get the truth.
All right. So to tap into the donkey, you know what going on.
To the donkey, you know what going on. If we go find out now the importance of the donkey in Igbo culture. Because the donkey seems to have carried the message very well, because you get it. All right. Are we going to be having SMO? Oh, he has disappeared. So any other questions now for the Claudette? Yes, are coming. You were saying?
No, that's what I was showing.
Okay, thank you very much. A lady across here have a comment? Question? Comment? Okay, either one.
Hi, I'd like to know how, because
hold on a second. Okay, we have a question.
It's kind of 2 in 1. Is she listening? Someone's got her attention.
2 in 1. These women come like double whammy, you know.
Yeah.
2 in 1.
We're after. Okay, so the months, how do you name them? What are the names that are above them? How do they represent each other based upon the Gregorian calendar? And no. I mean, in terms of January, February, March, April, May. What are they called on here? Yes. And also, how have they? Each month has 29, 30, 31. Some of them. How do you now place yourself if you came in those days.
Don't place yourself in those. Place yourself in this one. You're talking about placing yourself in a calendar where one of the months is named because two brothers, did they? And Julius said, him have a month named after him, July. And Augustus said, what? Brethren, you have a month named after you. Then me must have a month near after me. Here comes August. I say, you place yourself, my sister, and me now come with you. Me now walk with you. All right? So these months, the names represent something. So I don't know it too good yet. But one of them, the name means, is a time to celebrate. The Claudette, I beg. Is I nation that? I nation. Let me run out of the place. I nation. So come tell me, that Claudette, because I remember all of them. You remember the days of the names of the months now, and 1 month is a time to celebrate? You have it there? Yes. And to the mic here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. All right, here we go. So, remember we're talking about time, so it's the zodiac, right? We start, so the calendar that you have is a 15-month calendar. We put the 13 there so you can reconnect, right? So for the first month, it is called the month of Source, and this is where we celebrate re-beginnings. You're re-beginning, you're beginning again, and you don't stop re-beginning. This is similar to the notion of reincarnation, which all African cultures subscribe to. It's a no-brainer. Life is endless, so you're always reincarnating. So for the first month, right? Remember this business of Easter and Jesus? It's right. So, yeah, the source, and it's been, right, desacralized in a certain way. So this business of rebirth and re-beginning. And for those of you who are esoteric, this notion of the serpent catching its tail. You see the ring where you wear when you're married? You see that little diamond part? Mm-hmm. That's like the 13th month. It connects the 12 to the 1. That little space there to make, right? So we re-begin. These are some, nothing that we do comes from nowhere. They're grounded in existence. They're grounded in life. So we're saying the first month is the month of Source, and it's where you re-begin. That's what the name signifies. Yes. First, right? The month, the second month, 2, it's the month of division, right? So you split, you see the 2. Animals went in Tuesday, yeah. The basic 2, right? And we say it's the month of pairings, right? We're pairing the thing. Tuesday, the pairs. And then when we get to the third month, Ife Eke, we get a little more esoteric into the culture. This is the month that celebrates the Big Bang, explosion. Because remember, we're talking about the cycle of life, right? So the Big Bang is a real thing, right? In all cultures, the notion of creation, well, there is this word that creation that is used, but the Igbos don't necessarily subscribe to it, but we'll use it for the time being, right? So the thing come together, and then it's separated, it blow up, right? And you have these many pieces. So this is why in African cultures you'll hear them say life is a calabash, a broken calabash, and we're trying to put it back together. Right. Yes, right? So explosion, boom, fire, heat, fire. Everybody with me? We're having a problem getting SMO. So, and I have not seen Paula. Paula, you're here? Wonderful. All right. So I will finish this and then, we'll go on. So at least we will have Paula here and the chairperson will do her due. So the fourth month, Ano. You see in Spanish them say Año is the year? All these associations. Ano actually means 4. And so they're saying the year is divided into 4. And we call that form, right? So when you're building the house, how many corners it have? Yeah, the form that you live in, that's 4, all right? This will be on the website too for you to access, all right? There's already one there. We're going to put the other one so you'll see it. Agwu is Holy Spirit. Neago is Mother Holy Spirit. So for us, the Holy Spirit is not a man, but a woman. And so that's 5. You know, they said the fifth force, spirit, the center of everything. That's the celebration of month 5. And we call it cosmic design. So you see the Anansi spider at the center, and then branching out. Basic 4, and then the others, and then the others, and then the others. This is the cosmic design of the universe. And so that's what we're celebrating. And we attribute that spirit. That's moon 5. Moon 6, Igbokalal is the yam deity. So we're coming back to Afo yam, Mozelo yam, all of the yam them. We can't escape the yam. Yeah, man. And you know what? If you transpose the Y and put an I and separate it, where you get? I am. Is phonetics, right? The sound. Every time I hear the sound, yam, think I am. Afo means I am. I am here on earth. The entire calendar is celebrating that being. So this is why we say we celebrate I amness in the 6th month. And for our people, it was yam. For the Tainos, it was cassava. Each culture is built around a particular food. You realize that? Yes. So for us, in terms of our African ancestry, it's yam. For our Taino ancestry, is cassava. Right? So the bami. And you see the B come again? Yeah, where I live, B, to be, the bami. Right? And then 7. You see? 7 notes, 7 chakras, right? What else is 7 in the cosmic realm? Anybody? Yeah, right. 7 sisters. Yes, right. 7 seals. Which is the 7 chakras? The seals represent, well, that's one esoteric interpretation of the 7 seals. So if you want to break the 7 seals, use this calendar. Straight up, right? The mystery of the universe encoded here. Because when we say something sealed, it means that it's only open to those who truly are pure and want to know. Yes? So Alum Chi is a little difficult to describe. So we're simply saying that this is the month of the mind. You're going to pay attention to the mind. So you see the 7 chakras, they come all the way up. You know the 7th one is the crown, where your mind, the brain. You see that picture of the images that we see of Buddha and of Jesus with the halo around their head? Right, which means that they have particular knowledge. Their mind is pure, right? And so that's what we celebrate. Our highest consciousness as our chi, the place where everything comes from. If a person is insane, they can't operate properly in the world. You need to be balanced in your mind, right? And so you want to pay homage to that, to celebrate that. And remember, what else is 7? It's the middle of 13. So that is supreme. But that's the height. If you turn the, if you conceive of it as a triangle, 616, 6 months on one on the left, and then you have the 7th, and then you have 6 more. This is what is called Ikengo, or perfection, or balance. So when you celebrate in 7, Portal Day come, you see yourself with a halo around your head, and you command your higher consciousness. That's one way to do it. You're always, always in contact with your chi. So we say that your thoughts should be pure and directed positively, particularly in this month, and we celebrate the sphere of thought in the 7th month. Yes? Mu is roughly translated as spirit. So we say that in the 8th month, we're celebrating, we're paying homage to the invisible realm. Yes? Spirit. So we celebrate the sphere of spirit in the 8th month. Yes? All right, that's easy. Haha, then we get to 9. Somebody was saying that the donkey take 13 months. How many months we take? Yes. So then, hence Earth Month, and we always conceive of Earth as female and as our mother. Yes. And the body that housed us before we came out and lived in our own bodies. So we celebrate the sphere of the body in the 8th month. And we celebrate Earth. It's Earth Month. Body. Mother. 9, right? Mama Earth, yeah. The month of distribution is the 10th month. Ikeke can be considered creation, but we're reoriented and reconceiving it as the time at which we share. So we celebrate distribution, we celebrate sharing. This is a month that's reserved for us to be more communal and to interact with each other, to share our energies with each other. That is, sorry, the 10th month, right? And notice the number 10. What is 10? It's the original binary, right? 0, 1, 0, 1, which is the matrix. You're either something or you're not something. It's very simple. These things should be taught at the most primary, basic level. When we reorganize the education system, this is something that our children should come to know. Because if we ask Alexandria now, she won't know what 10 means. And she should at 11, right? So, Ajana, every market, remember we started off by saying that the days are considered market days, days of exchange. Do you know that every market in Igboland has a shrine? This is why the Igbos are such masters at commerce. They actually run the commerce in Nigeria. Yes. Because the foundation is the notion of exchange, and they've learned how to exchange optimally. How market? How market? No, the market change that. That's not working. They negotiate the marketplace. And this is what the month of Ajana speaks to. It's very interesting. It also references sacrifice. So this notion that you give up something for something. In Igbo culture, women are not allowed to perform blood sacrifices. And so this month is dedicated to maleness. This is the month that's dedicated to maleness. Yes? When we get to 12, this is the month dedicated to femaleness. And so we say it's the month of the cocoyam market. Remember that spring is cocoyam market. And so it's kind of like, as we were saying now, the 13th month being that connection. So we're coming and celebrating the journey of life in 1 and in 2, which is 12. And so we celebrate femaleness, and we celebrate the white yam, the cocoa yam, as representative of female energy. And then we get to the 13th month, which is the month in which we are now celebrating, usually, the cosmos. And we celebrate the Dibia as representative of that connection to cosmos. In Igbo culture, they say after God is Dibia. After God is the healer, the holy man, the Obia, the master of knowledge and wisdom. You know, we always say, somebody has to say, only God know. Where we get that from? It's the same thing as saying after God is Dibia. If you want to access, you're going to go to the Dibia with a 4-lobe kola nut, and you go and read the 4 corners because you're not using a dumb kola nut, and then you will have the information that you need. And so we celebrate the holy man. Priest is an English word. I don't like using it. I prefer to call our people in the words of their language. So we celebrate the master of wisdom and knowledge that helps us to reconnect with the cosmos and our ancestors. And here ends the reading until we re-begin again. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, yes. Beautiful, yes. That's a good analogy. But you see, you know that before you know this, because of how the thing come to us. Our brother is saying it's like Jesus and the 12 disciples. That's correct. Yes. All right, thank you.
It was drafted in Africa with the moon and the water. But out here in Jamaica, we don't know if the moon going to synchronize.
When the rain falls, it don't fall on one man's house, my brother. When the moon full, it full everywhere. When the moon half, it half everywhere. So no, man. And I just told you, our Taino brothers used to do it.
The moon doesn't change. It is one of the places where human beings are in oneness. If you're in Timbuktu, if you're in Timbuktu 5, Timbuktu 6, Jamaica, the Caribbean, to the ends of the world, north to the south, to the east to the west. These are some of the places we really don't appreciate. We don't appreciate the celestial bodies that every single human being, we're so happy to say, oh, we're so different. We're not happy to say, can you imagine, we all share the moon. We all share the sun. We all share this particular star. We all are looking at the night sky. We all are walking on one earth. One earth. The earth is one. The earth is one. And mankind, its inhabitant. Or humankind. Yes, my brother. Sister Mike here, you know. You want me to run again? Exactly. Exactly. He's saying all of us are stars. No boundaries. The boundaries are man-made. We have been the ones who have decided that we would like to separate ourselves. And so what keeps us from these knowings? Knowledge. The presence or absence of knowledge is what keeps us disconnected from how we ought to be and how we should identify ourselves. Things of beauty, Madu, the Igbo people. Human beings are Madu, beings of beautiful beings of beauty. That's all we are. No matter where we are, no matter the color of the skin. When you talk about the 4 directions, you're talking about the whole earth. The 4 directions. The whole earth. No matter what group you belong to, what country, you're in one of those directions, aren't you? You're one of those directions. Where else are you there? You're in one of those directions. Sometimes we think that there are other directions because we can think of the earth as a direction and the heavens. But basically 4, that's what it's 4 cardinal directions. That's correct. Doc Claudette talked just now, and this is something that we always like sharing, that one of the things that we have been left with, our ancestors were smart enough to leave us with, are songs that tell of them and their stories. Everywhere you go, you can find something there to redeem our ancestors, to say they were here, to say this is how they thought. There's a song that she introduced as she started her presentation. That song I learned when I used to sing with the Carol folk singers. And my understanding from the group is that that song is actually from Trinidad. And there's language in the song that suggests that. And Trinidad is also one of the places where numbers of Igbo people were also relocated during that time of trafficking of people from the African continent. I am going to sing the song for you a little bit because it's one way of paying respect, paying a tribute, making a tribute to these ancestors. It won't sound like the Carry folk singers, I'm very sorry, because this is done with so many different voices with the Carry folk singers. It is absolutely beautiful. And the way they start with the male voices, Ibo. And then you have the other voices coming in, and it's just really very beautiful. But I want to share it with you as a gift. As one of the days we remember that our people were here. Nobody can tell you that the Igbo people weren't here if we have a song that talk about them in Trinidad. Can we? No, because I know they weren't in the Caribbean. And we have songs in Jamaica, so I'm going to give you a couple. This song, as I said, came from Trinidad, and as the Claudette says, is a song where somebody is calling to another one, telling Igbo boy or Igbo gal, come, me massa want 'em, the background massa. And again, as I said, this was difficult space for the Igbo people because they have a concept that no one man rules. So me massa want 'em is just like blowing their minds. It's just like blowing their minds. Talk a big bang is a must big bang they go off enough for them head space and for them spirit space. Me master, who is my master? Who is that? My chi is my master. My own spirit is my master. So the song goes a little bit, and please forgive me. Ibobolele mi masawantom. Ibobolele mi masawantom. Ibobolele lele siamba. Ibo mi kaba kaba mi masawantom. You think you can help me? Think you can help me? All right. So when I go, Ibobolele mi masawantom. Oh, that's what you're going to do right there. Oh. Let's go. Ibobolele mi masawantom. Ibobolele mi masawantom. Ibobole. It will wiki though. It will wiki, don't. Make we try again. Ibobolele mi masawantom. Ibobolele mi masawantom. Ibobolele lele siamba. Ibo mi kaba kaba mi masawantom. So you remember we had called the ancestors. Me just get a message on them and say they're still not here too good. We just get a message, straight from them. They said they're not here so good. We can make it a little more, you know what I mean? Yes, man. Ibobolele mi masawantom. Oh, my goodness. Ancestors have heard. Let us do it again. They just say, we hear. Ibobolele mi masawantom. Ibobolele mi masawantom. Ibobolele lele siamba. Ibo mi ka Mi masawantum. Oh, you are the best choir ever. You are the best choir ever. There is another song that I learned in the Maroon community of Charlestown that speaks to the presence of Igbo people in our Jamaica country and in the Caribbean at large. And the song uses the word just like Ibobo Lele, which comes from Trinidad. As I said, this song I learned in Charlestown. Our own Charlestown in Portland here's a going, all right? So you see, if you can go anywhere, you can find remnants. You can find things that presence our ancestors in those spaces. And I want to sing this also as a tribute to the past Colonel Master Douglas, who we used to love to sing this song together. Ibo gala where you been there. So it's a call and answer. So you're going to sing what I sing till I tell you otherwise, right? So, Ibo gala where you been there. Ibo gala where you been there. Ibo gala where you been there. Ibo gala. Ego gala knock your pom pom. Ego. No. So now is where your difference now. So when me say knock your pom pom, you say where you been there. And when me say where you been there, you say knock your pom pom. Earlier get it? Yes. Oh, cause I'm a big time singer, you know. I don't know why I'm not up here joining me. Igbo gala where you been there. Igbo gala where you been there. So you're responding, right? Call and you know it's Africa thing, this call and response. Igbo is same thing. Call and response. Igbo gala where you been there. Igbo gala where you been there. Igbo gala where you been there. Igbo gala where. Oh, Igbo gala knock your pom pom. Igbo gala where you been there. Igbo gala knock your pom pom. Igbo gala. Oh, Igbo gala where you been there. Igbo gala. Oh, Igbo gala where you been there. Oh, Igbo gala where you been there. Igbo gala knock your pom pom. Igbo gala where you been there. Igbo gala knock your pom pom. Wonderful, don't you think? Presence of our ancestors. There's a song I learned from the Rastafari community and also have performed with the Carib folk singers. And it's a song that I learned when they were in the Nyabingi space and they were singing this song. It occurred to me while I was sitting there because the Igbo people also believed that Madu, beautiful beings, human beings, could fly. They were not the only African group who held that belief, but it is relevant in the space of the conversation we're having. They believed people could fly. And so, Rastafari elders, wanna claim this song? Fly away home to Zion, fly away home. Fly away home to Zion, fly.
One bright morning, when the work is over, I'll fly away home. Fly away home to Zion, fly away home. One bright morning, when the work is over, I'll fly away home.
One more time.
Fly away home to Zion, fly away home. One bright morning, when the work is over, gonna fly away home.
One more time with the drum.
Fly away to Zion, fly away home. One bright bright morning, when your work is over, gonna fly away, oh, fly away, oh, Rastafari, fly away, oh. One bright morning, when you're working, we're gonna fly away, oh, fly away, oh, Rastafari, fly away, oh. One bright morning, when your work is over, fly away.
Gratitude. If I had the wings of a dove, if I had the wings of a dove, I would fly, fly away, fly away, and be at rest. If I had the wings of a dove, if I had the wings of a dove, I would fly, fly away, fly away, and be at rest. But since I have no wings, since I have no wings, since I have no wings, I'm gonna sing, 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 sing. Since I have no wings, since I have no wings, since I have no wings, I'm gonna sing, sing, sing. But if I had the wings of a dove, if I had the wings of a dove, I would fly, fly away, fly away, and be at rest. Earl Miller, what you doing down there, you know? Fly away and be at rest. We give thanks for all the legacies our ancestors have left us, the legacies of songs, all that which presences them in our space and time today. We give thanks. We do have another beautiful conversation for you. And this conversation is IGBOKAL, counter Greg Wise. It sounds interesting? Counter Greg Wise. Remember, we were just going anti-clockwise with the Igbo calendar. And now we're going to go counter Greg Wise. Let us listen attentively to Paula Herlock of the Wellness Experience Jamaica, and she's the founder no less, as she tells us about counter Greg Wise.
Greetings, greetings, my brothers and sisters. It is a beautiful, beautiful moment. I hope that you don't think that it's just a little random thing and we are talking about a calendar. It is much, much more powerful than that. Everybody who step their foot inside of here is part of something much greater than you think. And you see, the day that was chosen is not a normal day. So let me just get into it. I want to acknowledge acknowledge the organizers of this beautiful initiative, because let me tell you, this is our way home. And you see something? Jamaica sits on a powerful vortex of healing energy called the 77th parallel, 77th meridian. It's not normal. That's why we not normal. Anything will go on right here, so it have to turn up. True? Right? Them say, all right, we no run. What happened? We run left everybody. Then say, all right, we no play some music. What happened? We create about 4 different musical forms over the last 4 decades. No joke. We are not easy. Them say, all right, cook some food. What happened? We cook the sweetest food. Right? Everybody in the world know about food. Right? So we are not a normal people. No. And it's because of this power line that we sit on. Now they, you see the people, the powers that be, sorry, the powers that were, you see them? You see them? Them know, you know. They know. And the ancestors know. So you know, they know that when they send that Claudette and say, come, launch your calendar, them no say it ha go amplify. Because you see Jamaica is like an amplifier. Anything we do, it reverberates all out into the world. Anything we do. So then send the calendar come. You see last year in November is when they had the first gathering, October, and I was here. You see November, there was another gathering in St. James of the Dogons. So me find myself in October with the Igbos and in November with the Dogons. And I say, no, sir, something in a something. But guess what? What was fascinating to me was that both groups brought their calendars. I said to myself, why them bring them calendar? What's so special about the calendar? But let me tell you something. It seems as if they brought those calendars because they were sharing clues with us here in Jamaica as to how we could reclaim and embrace natural time once more and exit the man-made matrix. It's the man-made matrix we're going to talk about right now, you know. You see that Gregorian calendar? That is man deviating from natural time and creating something for his benefit only. I was so fascinated with the concept that from that time in December when we sit down and think about it, I say, you know something? You know, say next Gregorian year, now catch me I use for them calendar. I'm going to make up my mind right there and then. Ask that Claudette. She will tell you. I call her in December. I say, look here. You know, say, when I use no Gregorian calendar next year, I want to understand that one here. Because why it come to me, me need to understand it. So, right away in December, I make up my mind and I start go down in the calendar. Why? Because I wanted to understand. Now, Wellness Experience Jamaica, we're online, and there are a group of us that have been looking at everything that has to do with preserving our traditional wisdom. So we look at herbs for the body, we look at foods for the body, and we look at the food for the mind. You know what the food for the mind is? Meditation. Meditation. So one of the things that we do every month is that we do a meditation. So you know, because I never know better, when they on the Gregorian calendar, I use them time. So you notice that Claudette talk about the portals. Let me explain. We're using numbers now. Anytime you double up the numbers, you know, there is power in that. So, for the last 3 years now, I'm on the portal meditation. I use, for January, where I work with 1-1, the 1st of January. For February, I work with 2-2, the 2nd of February. For March, we are work with 3-3, the 3rd of March. For April, we're working with the 4-4, the 4th of April, and so on. That is how we're going down the line. So that is what we were doing all these years. 3 years straight, we're doing that. So now that me learn about the Igbo calendar, me say, oh, me want to know how the month set up. So I found out in December that the 12th month runs from, I think, December 26th to about January 16th. I don't have it in front of me, but you can check your calendar. And so I was told that that is the 11th month. So I said to Dr. Claudette, can you tell me what the 11th day of the 11th month is? And she said, certainly. It is January the 4th. So I said, okay. That I would remember, so we do 11-11 already in November, you know. So I said, wait, we are going to repeat 11-11 again? But guess what? You see that 11-11 energy? It is a portal itself. It is a gateway. And so it was very fitting that we kicked off our portal meditations with an 11-11 meditation on January 4th. And you see the 12-12 meditation, the 12th day of the 12th month on the Igbo calendar fell on February 3. So that is when we did our 12-12 meditation. And then you see the 13th month, the 13th day of the 13th month fell on March 4th. If you think about 13, when you add 3 and 1, what do you get? It was so interesting. I found it so interesting. So we did our 13-13 meditation on March 4. And then guess what? After 13 comes 1. So guess when we do our 1-1 meditation? This morning. Because today is the first day of the first month of the Igbo calendar. You see that awareness now? That is amazing. So here we are kicking off the new year. This is a new year celebration gathering, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah? And so the people that are in here in this room are people that understand how important it is for us to reclaim time. So, why that important? What is, you see how I'm excited about the little meditation, them and the 1-1 and the 2-2 and the 3-3. Somebody said to me the other day, so what a big deal? I say, you know something? There are at least 70 to 80 persons, young people, who never know about no Igbo calendar, but because them online and them see me hype up about the Igbo calendar, them say, wait, what is? And they have now gotten interested. You see, in December when I say, listen, me done with Gregorian calendar, you know, them say, them done too. And they want to know about Igbo calendar. So Dr. Claudette gave us a little tutorial in December in preparation for January, right? And so now we have over 1,000 people, young people all over the world, melanated people, you know, black people, who just know and feel in them spirit. Say them no want depend no Gregorian, nothing again. They want to follow natural time. They want to tap back into natural time. Following this calendar allows us to tap back into natural time, right? So this calendar now becomes a gateway to more knowledge, more wisdom, more understanding of our tradition. Me never know about market day before. So because I am learning about this calendar, I have learned about the market days. Here I am now looking at the calendar and I'm seeing the 4 directions, north, south, east, and west. So I know on a certain day, I wake up and that is a north day. That is a, earth day. The elements, the fire, the water, the earth, the air. So now I am thinking of the elements. Whereas I used to only just think about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Friday, may I go get the weekend off, and so it go. No, now I'm thinking deeper. Now I'm connecting with nature. So now that these young people are looking at the calendar, this is a gateway for exploration. They now have greater awareness of natural time and the elements, and for synchronizing with the cycles and the wisdom of the motherland. Remember I said we cut off, and the system is doing everything to keep us disconnected from our motherland and from the wisdom and from the elements. Yeah? So, I'm going to give you an example of how disconnected we are. This morning, for example, did you know that we had the Spring Equinox? You know that? Yeah? Well, guess what? That was at about 4 a.m. And the equinox, listen to this, represented the midpoint of another portal that opened on the full moon. There was a lunar eclipse on the full moon, the 14th. On the new moon, there is going to be a solar eclipse. So it's 2 eclipses. And this equinox come right in at the center. You didn't know that? No, but now we know. So the equinox portal opened today. The eclipse portal opened before, so we now have a portal within a portal. But here another one now. You see the sun? The sun moved into the sign of Aries this morning too, 9 o'clock. So now we have a whole heap of natural and cosmic things taking place in the heavens that we wouldn't know about at all using the Gregorian calendar, because it's not attached to nothing except for Julius and Augustus and Janus and them and them. We're not depend on that. We need to unlock this calendar so that we can understand what is happening at all times. So understand, therefore, that in this room today, we are gathered at a very, very important cosmic point, right? And it's no accident that you are here. Your soul chose at this moment to gather with all the other souls. Because guess what we are going to do? We are amplify the thing, Just by being here and listening to the information, we are amplifying it. Yeah, we are reclaiming. We are reclaiming all of what was taken from us, because them take it away from we. Right? And them give you something else. Them swap. I wouldn't even say them swap black dog for monkey, or worse than that. It worse, trust me. Listen to me. So anyway, right now, you see the calendar that we follow? You see the calendar we follow? It was designed for one thing: industry, commerce, money, greed, and to uphold the machinery of the patriarchy. Thankfully, my Caribbean and African brothers and sisters are still not fully invested in man-made time, because we always late for everything. So it means to tell you that we know. So we're not dependent for them time. All the talk when them are talk, you must be on time. We always are late, right? So everybody always cussing about late. Today, I applaud you. I applaud you. You should clap yourself. Yes. You see this rigid structure that reflects the patriarchal values of the man-made matrix? We are wanting to step away from that right now. And you see this calendar? This is the gateway. This is how we step away from it. The matrix now includes westernized societal norms, cultural expectations, because them are teacher, and them are set to with this, and this is what we expect. And they set the educational system and the corporate structures so that we, the people, are subjugated and oblivious and pacified. We now say nothing, we just accept it. So this knowledge that we have gives us the power to step away from the man-made matrix. If me go and follow any matrix, the matrix that was up on the board a while ago, that are the only matrix we depend right now. We not depend no man-made matrix. So listen to this now. Time itself is a construct used to trap us in cycles of control. You see, the Vatican and the financial elite and the secret societies, they worship the Lord of time and control. You know who that name? Saturn, Kronos, Satan, same thing. And it is the force that the powers use to recycle reality over and over instead of letting it expand. Nature and natural time expands. You see, spring is expansive. Yeah? So let us stop a minute now and think how our departure from natural time is wreaking havoc with our bodies. The rhythm of women's bodies and cycles is now in pure chaos and havoc. Half of the women in this country that are of childbearing age have fibroids, have pelvic inflammatory diseases, and just overall poor womb health. You think an accident that? The same matrix and the Gregorian calendar that throw us all off, because we are now slaves to time. We are slaves to the system. We have to wake up early, heat up some food quick, jump in our car and race, go to work. That cannot be healthy for you. Yeah? So this is what is happening. So the living on the Gregorian calendar doesn't just alter timekeeping. It tells us that we are lazy, because guess what? You know, say, if you don't reach your work on time, your boss go and say you're lazy or you're good for nothing and this and that. Right? And then they give you deadlines. And if you don't make the deadline, them say, well, you fail. Right? They are saying exactly deadline, emphasis on the dead. They are saying that the only pathway to success is the constant daily adherence to the man-made deadlines. We are born out that. With this calendar, we are not on that anymore. So this launch is a call to action for us to step outside of this rigid societal structure and reclaim the sacred rhythm of life. To exit this man-made patriarchal matrix, we must exit the parts of their time construct that disconnects us from natural and cosmic time. On top of this beautiful calendar that I am now adopted as my own, I was elated beyond comprehension when I learned of the Igbo watch. Ladies and gentlemen, you know how long me I try to figure out how to glitch the matrix? See it here, the watch. Think about it. You know that the Igbo watch go counterclockwise. So you know, say the people them disrupt the natural order by going what the Gregorian people refer to as clockwise. Yeah? So if we want to glitch their matrix, you know what we have to do? We have to go counter clockwise. We have to go counter to what them say and go counter to what they are telling us to do. Yeah? This watch is actually a tool for disrupting their time matrix. So I don't know how I go work it out, you know. Beg, steal, or borrow. But that is a thing what I need to find some money and get that watch there, because I have a feeling, say, if 30 or 40 or 50 Jamaican wear that watch there, that consciousness, that energy is going to reverberate out into the world and change things around. So this would be an intelligent and unified manipulation of energy, and I guarantee that it would have an accelerated effect on the crumbling of the current exploitative, manipulative, and greed-driven system which currently exists. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered in this room, and we represent the unforeseen disruption of the false matrix. All it takes is this conversation to change the trajectory of our life completely, and that of humanity. Let us take back our role of timekeepers and planetary leaders, let us reclaim our connection with natural time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. So that was IGBOKAL, counter Greg clockwise. This makes sense in so very many ways. This makes sense to our ancestors, and there's a way we need to make it make sense to us. At the start of 2025, we had many messages as to how this space and time would be, the challenges, some of the challenges we will face, and some of the things we need to do to bring balance and rebalance our lives. One of the things we were told that it's now a time, it's now a time for us to walk into higher consciousness. It is now a time. You see what's happening around you? You think you can think the way that we're thinking now and overcome some of the things that are happening? We have to go to a higher self. We have to go into a space of higher consciousness. We have to go back to the space of our peoples, the space of the ones who made, structured, and understood time in a way so this could be brought forth today. We have to go back to that space. And so, as Paula Herlock spoke, I was hearing in my head, vibration, frequency vibration, higher consciousness. It's a conversation we've had in our space. But we have to come out of the vibration of some of the things around us, some of the ways they mark time. And we have to walk into the vibration of this, because this is a higher vibration. This is where we need to go to make sure that we are also vibrating at a frequency that is bringing enlightenment, that is helping us to move into the enlightened self, into the God self that we treasure, into who we are here to be. We need to walk out of certain frequencies, and we need to counter Greg. We need to counter Greg. The Gregorian calendar, we have used it. I don't know if it has served us, but we have used it because it's what came to us. Somebody else's ancestors. Yeah? Somebody else's ancestors. Gregory and all them people, you call them names, they have different ancestors to us. And we talk about immediate people. How can we be in their vibration when we have higher ancestors who were operating at a space of knowledge where they could understand this? That's right, higher consciousness. How can we tap into that vibration of people whose wisdom, whose knowledge guided them to enslave other people? Which higher consciousness were they in? And here are ancestors living so well, understanding purpose, understanding will, understanding life in a way that they were able to use these as principles of living in community, in well-being. Higher consciousness. So what Paula Herlock just gave you was a conversation of higher consciousness. She never used the words. But if you think about what she was saying, you will see we need to be embracing this now to be able to embrace ourselves. To be able to embrace ourselves, to find our identity. We're very happy that you were here today. Very, very happy that you were here today. We want to thank all the people who worked together to make this happen. This is an initiative from the Unuchi Foundation. They have had, the foundation has had other initiatives in this space. Late last year, Respelling Obia, there was a conference here. This is the second initiative launching this Igbo calendar. It's not only about the calendar, it's a calendar as related to life as anything else could be, as related to how people conceived and formed and structured culture in a meaningful way because of their understanding and engagement with time. What did it mean? How did it affect your daily life? What is it about? It is about life. It's one, we're talking about portals, it's one portal to understanding how a certain set of ancestors understood life and lived beautifully until that was interrupted. Have we rebalanced? We are rebalancing. Because even those who were left in the natural space were pulled out of balance. We're all rebalancing. Us, the continent, and the various countries in the continent where our ancestors came from, we're all rebalancing. And it would be good if we could do it together in a space of ceremony and harmony. It would be good. We're trying. And so today we had that connection, virtually, but we connected. We connected. As we do more and more of that, we'll become connected more even here and here. And our daily lives will start to be rich and wholesome again. We talked about the space of the new year today, the first year of the Igbo calendar, the first year of our own Taino people, and many other. There's so many groups of people on this earth who know that today, for them, marks a new year. What we do with the new year, sometimes we set intentions for the year. We set intentions for the year. That's one of the things people do. Sometimes they think of what it is they need to let go that didn't serve them. Because now they have experience from last year, and they have a big thing called experience. They saw what worked. They say what didn't work. And they say, you know what? This never worked, but we gotta try it again. Because when we look on it, we say, because this and this, you see this never work at all. And we can see how we can make it work. No, sir. Now carry that one there with me. This is our closing. Before I close, I want to thank the Institute of Jamaica. I want to thank the Ordinale Institute. We want to thank Wellness Experience Jamaica. We want to thank Alexandria Lewis. We want to thank Dr. Kurt Henry, the African-Caribbean Institute of Jamaica, Jamaica Member Bank. We want to thank all those who wished us well in this venture, all those who supported in any way at all, Shay and her team, Claudette and her team, all those who came together with hands and heart. Before I close, I want to ask if there are any questions from the live stream that we may want to answer.
Greetings again, Ndewo. Someone has asked about the year 5003. We're endless, we're timeless. And so in our African cultures, we don't mark year the same way that we do with the Gregorian calendar, because we recognize the endlessness of life. Time in Igbo culture is marked by your peers. So this is why eldership is so important. You don't say somebody's 50 years old. You say it's a young man. That's very funny. A 50-year-old man is a young man in Igbo culture. But this notion of eldership and peers. So you know the children in the community that are within your age range because you were all doing the same thing at the same time and you grew up together. So time in this sense is communal, right? So communal time is how we kept time in terms of our ancient tradition. Since we're integrating heritage into our daily life, we wanted to find a place from which we could start that was positive, that was reflective of our ancestral greatness. And so I don't know, this isn't taught in schools. The oldest iron smelting site in the world is in Igboland, Nigeria. The oldest iron smelt. Okay, we're talking about technology. Remember, so we're backward and we're not in a sense? We were the first people to develop technologies. And so, Leja is how it's pronounced, Leja, I believe. Some people say Elijah. But if you go to Igboland, the oldest iron smelting site is there at a place called Leja. And we've done what we call spirito-carbon dating. So by the European system, it's dated 4,000 years. And we had from the Ordinala Institute, Dibias going to the site to do divination and to ask the site how old it is. And so our year is patterned off the date that the Ordinala Institute started their calendar and did their divination. And so they're 3 years in. So we've used 5003 to create what we call the infinity symbol. So as I said, ancestral time on the continent, they begin their year at the autumn equinox or the fall equinox. So when they're autumn, we're spring. When they were spring, they're autumn. So it's actually the 7th month of the continental Igbo calendar, correctly speaking. And we're, right, touching into the energy there and creating a loop. So we are 7 months after what obtains on the continent in terms of the New Year, which begins again at the Yam Festival. And so we have the autumn, the Insibidi symbol is the Yam barn where the yams are stored, because the New Year begins obviously after the harvest. And so if you're thinking 5003, see it as a symbol of our past greatness and our reclamation of our greatness. We're starting in iron. We're forging this in iron. We iron like a lion in
Zion.
Jaja. So 5003 represents that positive primal technology which we ushered into human life. Thank you.
Wonderful. And saying that, we wanted to thank all our online viewers for their patience. We say this is a knowledge reparation event. It's an event where we're trying to resurrect, reconnect, reorient ourselves around the ancient knowledge and wisdom of our ancestors. Before we leave, may I invite you to sit for a minute or less. Consider today as the first day of your year. Think about what you don't want to travel with you into the next year. Even to the people that you don't want to go with you. Because some people sometimes have to be left behind, you know, because they're not supporting you. You know what I mean? We hope it's not too many still, you know, because friends and people around you, you need community. Think about the habits you form that you really don't need to travel with into the new year. Think about some of the actions that you participated in, either received or gave. That, no, I am not going to, no, that can't be who I am. I can't walk with that attitude. You don't want to take this with you into the new year. But as you do that, think also about what will you will use to replace that. Because we don't leave gaps, we don't leave holes. The things will jump back into them too quickly. They will jump back into them bigger. Oh, thank you, my sister. So think about what, you see those things you're taking out and throwing away. Think about what you're going to put them in their place, what you're going to use to put in their place. So if you're giving away, you know, badness and things, you have to go put some kindness and all. Yes.
Like we leave body and talk about self, you know.
You see what I mean?
But leave body and talk about self and oneness.
And oneness. So you see, going into the new year, he knows exactly what he's going to leave, and he knows what he's going to put in the place. May I invite you to take a moment. And then, once you have done that, yes, ma'am.
Like nothing. Let I not deal with nothing. Everything is something.
Aha. See.
Nothing is it don't exist, just like Jesus.
Okay. And on that note, may I say, after you've done that, I'd like everyone to greet everyone here before they leave with the words, I support your intentions for the new year. I support your intentions for the new year. I support your intentions for the new year. Because what? We perform our destiny on each other. Let's go. And I might sing for you a little while you're doing that. I don't know. I might sing a little thing for you while you're doing that. So think about that. Once you've thought, you can, arise. So I'm giving you a few minutes. Think about what you want to leave behind. Today's a new year. It's the equinox. It's March 1st. It's the first day of the Igbo year. It's the first day of the Dino year. You're going to claim it as the first day of the rest of your life. The first day of the rest of your life. What will you carry with you? What kind of thoughts will you think? What kind of songs will you sing? Can you support another one with their intentions? Will this knowledge go with you? So now you'll greet each other with your words of encouragement and endearment. I support your intentions for your new year. I support your intentions for your new life. I support your intentions for a blessed year. From where do I know you? From where do I know you? Your face is so familiar. Your spirit is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful spirit. Fofier, listen, I think everybody sang so beautifully.
And it will be used because I don't have one currently.
Yes, me too. Thank you. I'm giving these gifts to everyone because you all sang so beautifully with me. So I am thanking you for singing so beautifully with me for the ancestors.
In Jamaica. I know not church, the house in a one.
Greetings, my sister. Yes. I'm only giving these out to you because you sang so beautifully. Yes? Oh, yes.
The princess did mention something to control the tone and furniture.
Hold on, give me 1 minute. Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Yeah, she was saying something to contribute to her foundation.
Unuchi? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. You can probably. Oh, okay, wonderful. Beautiful lady. Yeah, man. And thank you for the thought. Thank you for the
team.
Oh, my goodness gracious. All the ancestors are wonderful. Thank you. What a blessing. Thank you so much. And she loves apples, you know. Yes. Oh, you have one. Isse, brother. Isse.